Only professionals can do a task. Ask this guy how he feels about DIY HRT. Okay, dude.
And yeah, things did used to be better.
Okay, hey!
If you were white and straight.
Oh my god! Oh, bro, you got clip chimped. Cry me a river, dude. He's there reading cruel Patreon exit survey comments.
Holding someone's income hostage is also a form of financial abuse.
No way! This guy's getting psychological damage from people being mean in a Patreon exit survey.
On one occasion, I had 20 patrons withdraw their pledge, a low that was so potent, I didn't want to exist.
He was gonna top himself over.
Okay, that's wonderful.
There's no way, dude. This is the, well, I'm always on the lookout for BreadTube stuff because, you know, people seem to like it. People seem to get a kick out of it. Last time we had the trans individual who was convicted of rape. That was quite fun. But I've got something a bit different for you today. Now, this person, the reason this teased me in, is because this was sold to me as follows. This person apparently believes that ending Patreon support is a form of financial abuse. Now, I did look through the transcript to make sure I wasn't being misled. Whilst that is a reductive way of putting it, okay, it is true that the person does, in certain circumstances, refer to it in that way. But anyway, that's for later on in the video. Yeah, dude, honestly, there's other bits about this too, which I think we're going to get a kick out of. But the long and the short of it is, it's a BreadTube video. It's called Addicted to Outrage, Why We Love to Be Angry. That's the name of the video. So I can already predict what this is probably going to be. I would imagine it's probably some fucking gay fella talking about how we're all mad at the internet and how it's a big problem and it's capitalism's fault, basically. That's going to be my guess. That's going to be my guess, okay? Addicted to Outrage, Why We Love to Be Angry by this Salari guy. And I've heard of this guy before. Of course, we've got the obligatory sponsorship. Classic BreadTube meme. Oh my god, dude, this is going to be so obnoxious. We spend our entire lives pursuing happiness at all costs. But do you ever wonder why you can't stop watching videos, doom scrolling, or reading articles that make you rage? In this video, I dive deep into the psychology and science behind our obsession with outrage, drama. Oh, guys are on the hook again. That's us. That's us. And negativity. From the role of social media algorithms to the human brain's natural response to anger, I look at why outrage-inducing content is so appealing to us. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, I'm certain is going to be capitalism, and I can't wait. Anyway, let's get into it.
Guess who's having to use a cold pack for a bit because I had
Actually, we look quite similar, so I don't really know if I can comment about that part.
of an accident with the camera equipment. That'd be me. My poor finger.
It's me.
You know what I like?
Chud, okay.
Learning stuff. Like, recently I learned that dogs have wet noses because it helps keep them cool. You know what I don't do often enough?
Yeah, his hairline is withstood the test of time better than mine has.
Learn new things. If you're anything like me, and I know I am, sadly.
Also, I feel like there's a kind of false premise here. Well, I don't know. I guess some people get angry at drama. But I feel like a lot of the time it's mainly having like a laugh at it and stuff. For me, at least. It's the things I get angry with are when like some little kid is killed or something in a news story. I don't know. I don't really get angry at drama necessarily, unless someone's done something annoying to me personally.
Then you might have a hard time learning things on your own. I used to draw a lot when I was younger, and after wanting to get back into it recently, I looked up some tutorials online, but turns out the internet isn't a very well organized place, and if there's one thing that I need when learning something, it's structure. Thankfully, there's something to help with that. Skillshare, who's sponsoring this video. Skillshare is the largest
Based.
online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes by experts in their field, whether that's
Okay.
video, music, design, writing.
Okay, I'm not going to skip I've got a very principled position on this, okay? Feels very obnoxious to skip adverts. But this is one of the most boring ad reads I've ever fucking seen, dude. It is so dull. At least put some energy into it. At least make it entertaining.
Photography, illustration, and more. Since I've wanted to get back into learning drawing, I tried out Learn to Draw, a comprehensive introduction to drawing foundations and style by Mimi Chow. And as someone who basically taught themselves how to draw originally, I've learned some things that I didn't even know about before, and judging by this, I think it's working out pretty well. I'm also a self-taught guitarist, and even though I've come pretty far, there are some techniques that I need some guidance with. Thankfully, Skillshare has an excellent selection
Dude, he's there playing the guitar and making it sound like the most boring thing anyone's ever done. Bro, at least get a bit. You're playing guitar, dude. That's kind of exciting if you present it in the right way. Well, reading the ad in a sort of plain way can be fine if it's funny, because the idea is you're doing it in a way that is, you know, not particularly excitable for a reason. But I don't know, he just seems like a very boring guy. Maybe he'd have more excitement in his life if he got angry at the internet more.
Classes that I'll definitely be taking advantage of. If you too are looking to learn something new, enhance your existing skills, or even improve your productivity, Skillshare is invaluable, and you don't have to learn on your own as well, thanks to their amazing community features where you can get genuinely useful feedback from other users and the pros. So if you'd like to learn something new or get better at something that you already do, I have good news. The first 500 people to use my link in the description below will receive a 1-month trial of Skillshare absolutely free. There's something there for everyone, and it's always great to learn new things, so join today.
There we go.
I've been on YouTube for a while now as a video creator, and even longer as a viewer.
Okay, we go. Now
I go
we're into
through
it. Let's
phases
go.
when it comes to the kind of content I watch. Sometimes it's video essays, others it's reviews and retrospectives of movies and games, and when I just want some background noise while I'm working or playing, I'll put on some podcast style content, one of my favorites being the Best of the Worst series by Red Letter Media. YouTube has a huge variety of content. It's what makes it appealing, since there's seemingly something for everyone. One moment you could be watching a highly produced short film, the next you could be watching a video where a 14-year-old British kid is teaching you how to fix a problem with Windows 11.
Okay.
Regardless of the genre of content that you see on YouTube, it's become abundantly clear that one of the most successful strategies for gaining views and an audience on the platform is to create videos that generate drama and possibly anger their viewers.
That's us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go! Let's have at it.
That anger can then be leveraged into creating a conversation among viewers, who in turn develop some sense of community centered on the subject and compels them to explore related content with a similar tone. It also
Speaking from
This is me in 2020.
This guy needs to change his SSRI and or antipsychotics cocktail. You can take that stuff and not be a complete lethargic husk.
I mean, I don't want to listen. I can't speak to any mental illnesses, okay? But he has got a very lethargic tone. He has got like a very unusual tone where he's just like, there's no energy there. There's nothing behind it. It's just plainly reading a script in a kind of vaguely depressed voice.
also makes it easier for a creator to continually maintain engagement, where instead of visiting new subjects, they can continue talking about the same thing, since it's something that an audience wants to know about. One thing that I've noticed though when it comes to drama is that it seems people get some perverse thrill from watching it unfold. They rally around it to be a part of something, to theorize.
Perverse? Is it pervert? Wait, what? Is it really perverse? That sounds a bit of a fucking weird sexualized way of putting it. I think people just like drama unfolding and enjoy talking about it because it's entertaining. I don't think there's anything perverse about it at all.
What's happening behind the scenes.
Are you all bricked up? Are you all fucking bricked up in chat? And I don't realise it. You're all bricked up watching all the drama unfold, you fucking perverts.
And explore the psychology of it. We've always had this interest though. I mean, it's why reality TV is so successful, even if most things in it are carefully choreographed by producers and editors. Let's look at the Borderlands movie as an example. Based on a video game series, it was released in theaters very recently, and after its terrible performance at the box
How do I make money
Hey!
off
Thank you for the $2.
office, it was promptly made available through streaming services.
Okay.
The movie was directed by Eli Roth, who was an odd choice since he's known largely for making gory horror movies, and has big names like Oscar winners Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, and comedians Kevin Hart and Jack Black. In the run-up to the movie's release, audiences were already skeptical of its quality and casting decisions. It had a troubled production cycle.
Dude, I tell you what, it's like this. If you had the choice between watching this guy boringly explain what happened and some guy going, Borderlands sucked because there was too many women and blacks in it, you choose the second every time. Because is the second guy being exactly correct? No. But it's way more entertaining than whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. Yes, I'd rather watch the anti-SJW grifter complain about it than this. Yeah.
Which is often a bad sign for any movie, and in an age where movies based on video games are going through sort of a redemption arc,
Well, let's see what
it
he says.
reminded people of darker days where practically every adaptation was poorly received, largely because these movies were made by people who simply weren't familiar with the source material. The initial negative reception was all that was needed for people to decide that this movie will and should be a failure, that the film's fate was sealed before the first trailer was released. To be fair, it did look pretty bad. Not as bad as the Minecraft trailer though. Oof.
I am Steve.
I'm not even a fan of Minecraft, and I can tell that's not good.
I mean, okay. The thing is, though, I think that the trailer's one part of it. But I thought that before the trailer even, there was like discussion and commentary from the movie makers about it and like early teasers of what it might be like and what it might be about. Isn't that enough for you to go, okay, this movie looks like it's going to suck? And then the trailer comes out and it's like, oh, it looks like it's going to suck. And then the movie comes out and it's, oh yeah, the movie sucks. Let's see what he says. Maybe he's got a point here, okay? Let's just have a little listen. I might agree with him, who knows?
In the lead up to the film's release, people basically sat and waited for their expectations to be fulfilled. They'd have discussions on Reddit about why it's going to fail.
Okay, dude, okay, again, hear him out, I guess, but what? The Borderlands movie's probably going to flop. I mean, I was sure of it all along, thanks to the generic logline and the horrifically befuddling casting calls, but now I'm confident about it thanks to what I've been hearing this year. I mean, Jesus, they've been in post since 2022 and it's a mess. You can't fuck something up that badly. I'm going to watch it anyway, but not to see something that's legitimately good. At least I hope it's like Ari Afterlife, goofy, funny, bad, and not the Taylor TV show offensively bad. What's wrong with this post? This post is like, I mean, if your whole premise is about being addicted to outrage, this just sounds like someone who's posting on the Borderlands subreddit. It's probably a fan of Borderlands and is just expressing their concern about the way the movie production has gone, based on pretty standard premises like, oh, it's been in post production for a while. You know, casting calls sucked, etc. Okay. Anyway, let's hear them out. We're about to get to the point. Don't worry.
What they could have done to make it better, and shared memes about why the movie they haven't seen yet is bad. The reviews came out and it was universally panned for all the reasons audiences said. Bad script, bad casting, bad direction, just bad. It's a bad movie. Shortly after the movie release, there came a deluge of YouTube videos from creators talking about how they can confirm it is indeed a bad movie. And although these creators probably don't call themselves professional critics, people treat them as such. One of the major problems with critique.
Oh my god, dude. Professional critics. Bro. Yeah, like, literally, who fucking cares if someone is perceived as a professional critic? And this sounds like he's making this concept that there's such a thing as a professional critic which to me would indicate you should pay more reverence to them on the basis of their professionality. What is that? Like someone that writes for a big paper? Only professionals can do a task. Ask this guy how he feels about DIY HRT. Okay, dude.
Critique on YouTube, and I use that word very loosely, is that it's heavily based on finding the flaws in products, whether that's movies, games, or whatever, really. Audiences seem to have a desire to hear what's bad about something before anything else, and even if something is considered good, people often go out of their way to maintain focus on negatives. Another example being the game Concord.
Why is he... Okay. It feels like he's picking some of the worst examples for this, because these are like universally condemned, panned, shitty products that people were right about. Like, wouldn't a better example to be to find something which had some positives that a lot of people focused on the negatives of? I think they would make a far better point. And there are examples of that. But yeah, these are like two examples of the most abject failures that audiences were right about. And if you're a fan of the game, yeah, you probably do get a bit hyper-fixated on how bad it is. But, you know, that could be a product of anger, maybe. I personally think you could also be funny. You're like, oh, look how shit this game is. You know, you feel like, as a fan, you feel like kind of justified, I guess. Because you're like, this is going to suck, and then it sucks. And you're like, yeah, it sucks. And then you want to see all the people talk about how much it sucks. So maybe he's going to wrap it up into a coherent point. But I guess, you know, I just don't really see the issue with this, or this idea that this is indicative of this outrage. I think there are probably arguments you can make about people being outraged on the internet, but it just feels like you're picking examples where it's like, yeah, this is all pretty much what was expected, what was said, and I think people were just like, yeah, this sucked like I thought it would.
Released recently and shut down within 11 days of its launch. It was a pretty solid game, not perfect, but because it was a multiplayer only game.
It was a pretty solid game. Was it? I mean, that's his opinion, I guess. But like, wasn't this game universally panned? Like, everyone thought this game sucked. Even the lefties thought it was rubbish. It was like complete slop. Like complete dogshit slop.
Game that released for $40 in an overcrowded genre, it ended up being one of the worst failures in gaming history. It had only a peak player count of under 700 players after launch, which, for a game that relies on having other people to play with, is abysmal. It was also an expensive game to produce as well, with estimates being anywhere from about 100 million to 150 million, so not chump change. Once again though, people expected this game to fail from the get-go, and as the idea grew amongst gamers with people saying that it was doomed, people were less inclined to go anywhere near it. This attitude is...
Oh, is he trying to argue that, like, it becomes like a foregone conclusion? Like, people think the game is going to suck, and so therefore they don't bother playing it. But then it's like the foregone conclusion is a product of the marketing team doing a bad job then. You know, exactly, a self-fulfilling prophecy. But then, dude, I feel like a self-fulfilling prophecy is like cope that a marketing department would come up with for why their game failed. Oh, look, everyone said the game was going to be bad right from the start. Well, then do a better job of marketing it and do a better job of making a more engaging, fun game. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, maybe I'm Paul Zandying. Okay, these just seem like bad examples to use if you're trying to make this overall point that people get mad at the internet, or people are addicted to outrage. You know, I think that also, particularly with this game, I feel like some of the attention, I mean, there's definitely examples of people being outraged about things, but with Concord in particular, it feels less outrage and more just like, oh, this game looks like it's going to suck, bro. Look at it. Look at these fucking characters. Look at this big brown gay space marine. Oh, it's come out and it sucked. Oh, it's come out and it's fucking dead in 4 days. Oh, $400 million PlayStation. I don't really feel like it's anger, particularly with Concord in this case. All the stuff I saw was more comedic, laughing at it and mocking it for it sucking.
Isn't the sole reason Concord failed, but I imagine it contributed to it heavily. And as I was making this video, new information came out that suggested that the game might have actually cost upwards of $400 million to produce. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but at the same time, yikes. There was also a segment of gamers who believed that it was a get woke, go broke scenario, simply because the game contained pronouns for characters.
Bro. Simply because the game contained pronouns for characters. That is such a reductive way of looking at this. It wasn't just because of the fucking pronouns. Bro, you got examples here of the kind of sloppy game design that seems to be more interested with
wonderful.
inserting identity over making
off
fun,
people?
engaging
His
characters.
physicians should be investigated for malpractice emo. This is toxic positivity pseudo-intellectual therapy analysis. He needs a better drive.
Thank you very much for the $5 Australian. It feels like some of these like lefties and breadtubers. It's like they can't just like have a laugh about something, you know? What is it? What's this character's name? Concord Queer Space Marine. If I type that in, does it come up? Yes, it does. Yes, it certainly does. It comes up with an image for me. Like, how can you not just look at this and have a laugh about it, even if you're on the more progressive side? Why can't you look at this and go, yeah, this is a bit much, isn't it? A bit full on. They've really stuffed the identity in this one, haven't they? Like, it's just going to be funny. It doesn't have to be outrageous or shocking or anger. It's just a funny thing. It's like they really fucking went overboard in the application of their kind of like identity principles in designing these characters. It wasn't just because of pronouns. That's such a reductive way of putting it. The characters look like a DEI AI came up with a character design. But it's like, oh no, they said it was get woke, go broke because of the pronouns. Now, to be fair, I think I would agree that some people overstated the nature of the get woke, go broke aspect. I think this game had problems beyond get woke, go broke, which is a fine criticism of that angle. But it's like to say that, oh, they said get woke, go broke, and it's because they don't like the pronouns. I mean, come on, dude. It's not just because of the pronouns. Look at this fucking character design. Look at the way the characters are described. You know? It's like one of them, I remember, it was like they hadn't even thought of an interesting backstory for the character. The character was like some sort of Amazon, like they worked for like a distribution center or something, which is a really gay backstory, stupid backstory. But they were trans, they were transgender. It's like they'd forgotten about putting interesting characters in for the sake of making sure everyone knows they're trans. Dude. Anyway, bit reductive, very reductive on this guy's part.
Sorry, I mean...
Fucking pronouns!
Imagine being this angry over pronouns. Like, calm down, man. Like,
dude, this is so dishonest. It's not about pronouns, okay? It's not about a character having pronouns. Also, laugh at as. That was a funny moment, regardless of what way you fucking slice it, okay? But the thing is, it's not just about the pronouns aspect. It's obviously about various aspects of modern day politics being thrust into games in ways that are very obvious and not subtle. That is what people have a problem with. He probably disagrees with that concept, that's fine. But acting like this issue is just because of pronouns is the most cop-out progressive bullshit that I see on this.
you are definitely going to have a stroke if you carry on like this. The bad stuff sells on YouTube. It's just how it is. Take
That's
a look
true.
at the most popular videos by Skill Up, one of my favorite video game review channels.
That is true.
When you filter it by its most popular videos, it's mostly games that either had overwhelmingly negative reception like Fallout 76 on release, or games that were mired in controversy like The Day Before. Ralph, the channel's owner, acknowledges this trend, and although he has many videos that celebrate games, he doesn't deny that the negative stuff is what gets more clicks. I'm not criticizing him for this, since people have the right to know whether something is bad. It's just YouTube. You've got to play the algorithm game, baby. It happens with my videos too. The subjects with a negative slant or some element of sensationalism do well, while the topics with a neutral or positive tone
Why are the Japanese so lonely? Based? Female objectification in media, a Persona 5 case study. Dude, this is like primo breadtube material, isn't it? Influencer making you miserable on purpose. Why are Dude. Why are right-wing men so sad, feasting on misery? Bro, the projection these people put onto the right-oid is unbelievable. He's sat here fucking probably on SSRIs up to his eyeballs talking about how sad the right is.
Tend to fall by the wayside, even if I personally really like making them and believe that they're genuinely interesting.
Wait, counter. Oh, hang on. There are so many slop billion-hour reviews that celebrate so much art which gets views. Do you know, I think that's probably some sort of quirk in the algorithm. Well, mind you though, theirs can be negative too. Now, I don't know, dude. I think it's fairly reasonable to say that negative coverage gets more attention. Like, if you go and look at like Mauler's channel or something, if you click and look through, the stuff where he's praising stuff, generally speaking, from what I've seen, doesn't get as many views. It's just the reality of the platform, I think. For whatever reason, stuff that is of a negative bent tends to be of more interest to people to click on. I mean, it's just the way it is. I just don't really think it's that big a deal, or there's much to discern from that beyond people like watching car crashes, people like watching people fuck up. You know, it's like the reality TV thing. The episode of reality TV where everything kicks off and everything goes wrong and people are fucking each other over. That's the stuff that gets talked about and people like to engage with, you know? I mean, I think it's probably like a product of people, you know, somewhat wanting to like blow off steam. Like they work a normal job, they've got a fairly standard life. And I think they just want to get online and talk shit about crazy stuff that's happening that doesn't impact them. It doesn't affect their life. And it's just like blowing off steam. I don't know. That's my perception of it. That's the way I see it. You know? So, yeah. Yeah, that's probably true as well. It's probably to do with what kind of channel you set up as. There's probably channels out there that do get views praising things, but I think generally speaking, it's probably a fair rule of thumb that YouTube, if you've got a channel, the likelihood is if you put something up criticizing something, it's probably on average going to do better. I think that's a perfectly fine thing to accept. I just don't think it really matters that much, and I don't know if it really backs up this idea that we're angry about everything all the time on the internet. But that could not be what he's saying. Let's hear him out and see.
I'm not judging you for it, since I get the appeal. I'm human, after all. But I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't disappointed about more people not giving them a chance. I even have to change the phrasing of some of the titles of some videos just to give them that sensational appeal. And I really don't like doing that.
Okay, dude, this is such a cancerous take, bro. I hate takes like this. Yes, YouTube functions as like an attention economy. Okay, i.e., you as a viewer have got a certain amount of time in a day to give to YouTube to watch things, right?
Chud, an important question. Why do Brits eat fish and chips with curry? Why, sir?
I don't know the reason for that, but it tastes good. You should try it sometime. Thank you for the $5 Canadian. It's like people have got a given time on YouTube. Naturally, they're going to click on the things that trigger something in them. Again, it's that kind of, you're going onto YouTube to burn off steam and to watch stuff and engage with stuff and be entertained in some way, right? Most people are not going to go and want to watch a fucking boringly titled video going over some fucking game. And what even is this? Be a man, positive masculinity in video games. Yeah, your title sucks. It's fine if you love it for the art and you want to do it for the art. But yeah, obviously you need to put something more provocative in because you are a video amongst many. It's like, I feel like these people just don't seem to get how YouTube primarily works. Right? It's like, you know, my video, you're here. You're maybe even down here, further. It's like this is how a lot of people look and engage with YouTube. You might go and check it on your favorite subscribed channels, you know, the ones you really like to watch any video that they've done. But most of it is just like, yeah, you're one of many choices that people have. So people obviously are going to be inclined to click on the things that are more provocative, that are more titillating, that are more exciting to them, you know? It's like an endless sea of slop and content. So obviously, you're going to have to put a provocative title in. That's just the way that YouTube works and the way that it functions. So it's like, yes, I guess it sucks if you don't like doing that, but that's just the nature of the beast. Yeah, welcome to being a fucking YouTuber. Anyway.
No, I'd rather be honest. YouTube in particular has an ecosystem of media criticism that only focuses on the negatives of products, and some creators even go out of their way to manufacture flaws that don't truly harm a product as a whole. One of the most famous examples is CinemaSins, a channel that's so successful even the auto-correcting Google Docs recognized that the name of the channel has no space in it. The channel started out innocently enough by spotting plot holes in movies along with things like,
I mean, yeah, CinemaSins sucks. I knew that 5 years ago when I watched all the videos about how CinemaSins sucked 5 years ago. We're in 2024. Just feels a bit weird that we're harkening back to fucking 5-year-old shit to complain about. Anyway, let's see, maybe makes a point. Okay, let's continue. It's like a slop algo channel. Yeah, exactly. Who cares, dude?
continuity errors. But as time went by and YouTube began to favor longer videos with consistent engagement, their videos started to become a petty, smug, and often mean-spirited breakdown of each movie's supposed flaws, pointing out either extremely minor errors or things that aren't even errors at all. The creators of the channel have claimed that their videos are all in good fun and not meant to be taken seriously, but whether that's their intent or not doesn't matter because people do take it seriously. It's not uncommon to see commenters saying how they were going to watch a movie before they saw the video but now they won't because of it, or people who actively seek the negatives in things, looking for some form of affirmation from a notable person who agrees with.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm pretty sure, dude. This feels like rehashed Sean and Jen content. I'm sure I remember watching a Sean video about CinemaSins and how much it sucked. I don't know, dude. Okay, I'm sure. Fine. CinemaSins sucks. I agree. I do also think though that if you're that fucking retarded that you watch a CinemaSins video and you're deciding whether or not to watch a movie based on what someone is essentially nitpicking the video, I mean, that's on you. It's not really the CinemaSins' fault that the audience are retarded enough to think that something specifically going out of the way to nitpick every problem with the film is indicative of its overall quality. I mean, they've done CinemaSins on like critically acclaimed, audience acclaimed movies. So yeah, obviously don't use it as your guideline for whether or not to watch a fucking movie.
With them. For all these commenters know, they might actually love a movie that CinemaSins tears down, but they'll never know because some guy on the internet who frequently complains that women actors aren't doing lap dances in a movie convinced them that it's not worth their time.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm sure this is the same point from the Sean and Jen video. I'm sure this is exactly the same point that Sean made years ago about CinemaSins. The exact lap dance point too.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I literally couldn't care less.
Money off depressed people.
I'm actually triggered by how low energy he is. Bro, I've been on meds for nearly 10 years and if I turned into this, I'd consider Canadian healthcare.
Thank you for the super chats. Anyway, honestly, I think that CinemaSins should start making more jokes about rape. That would be more funny to me, more entertaining than these lap dance jokes. Anyway, okay, look. It's been 10 minutes. I feel like we're getting into meandering territory. Let's continue. I'm sure at some point we're going to have a coherent point made. I'm ready.
Negativity, drama, and anger are all forms of entertainment though, and many people may not even realize that they actively seek it out. Content that has a negative tone often has a sense of
Okay. That line, is he trying to save people with this? You might not realize what you're doing. Wait, hang on. Is that him? Is he trying to be a savior to or something? Am I fucking getting the wrong end of the stick? Okay. Let's hear him out. Come on.
importance and truth to it. It's seen as something that's almost salacious, and that by knowing it, then you'll be part of a vital conversation, even if that conversation can ultimately just be people complaining about things that don't really matter. This isn't a recent thing now, and it exists outside of the internet as well.
Okay, dude, that don't really matter according to who. There's lots of things that we're all concerned about that don't matter to other people. What matters and doesn't matter, particularly with cultural shit, is just a matter of your own perception. Like, for example, there's some people that think that making jokes about lap dances don't matter, and you just made a point about it. But they'll have the opposite take on some of the other stuff. Who decides what does and doesn't fucking matter with this stuff, dude?
Fox News, the most watched channel on American cable television, is practically a 24-hour daily broadcast of everything wrong with the world and the people in it, even if much of it is completely made up or overblown. They know what they're doing and who they're...
Dude, so we're doing like Fox News bad in 2024. Okay. I don't even like Fox News. Fox News sucks, okay? But this is a criticism you could levy at any news network. There's, you know, particularly the 24-hour news cycle. Like, this is just what news has become now. Okay, anyway. It's okay. I don't like Fox News either. Fox News sucks. Sure, I can agree with that. So let's just give him that at least and continue on.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Imagine CinemaSin's comments making you seethe. Yep, true.
Their audiences, though. It's people aged 60 and above who aren't exactly what you'd call worldly, who constantly reminisce on how things used to be better when they were younger, and that all the things done to progress society have ultimately been too drastic and frayed our moral fiber.
I mean, kind of a point there, haven't they?
And yeah, things did used to be better.
Okay, hey!
If you were white and straight.
Oh my god! Let's go! There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
And yeah, things did used to be better. If you were...
Bro, he's getting it in there now. The classic BreadTube talking points. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Absolutely based. Okay. Okay. Let's continue.
White and straight, but they don't see it that way since outlets like Fox News tell them that their race and orientation now makes them a victim, and that any group attempting to gain equality wants to make straight whites a victim. As we all know...
Okay, bro. Yes. Guess what? The wokes do this as well. The wokes do this too. Everyone does this with their own pet issue. The fucking... They do it with the whites. People do it with the blacks.
A lot of
people just need to accept, yes, there's problems in society, okay? We've got issues. Jesus Christ, dude. I've got substance coming out of me. I've got a substance. There's a substance coming out of me. Anyway, listen, I feel like this is such the classic breadtuber mentality. Oh, if you were white and straight, things used to be good. Oh, they're saying you're a victim when you're not. This could apply to many different sides. It's not just one side that does this. This idea that it's just Fox News that are bad and the only people that participate in this is false.
People tend to lose touch with...
And the thing is, obviously you could argue, but he's not saying that. Well, he is saying that, isn't he? He is saying that. Do you think this guy would fire up a fucking video and talk about, you know, it from the other side of the aisle? He'd talk about how, oh, look, here's a situation where a right-wing individual was actually unfairly victimized by the liberal press, like the Covington kid or Carl Rittenhouse. Like, he'd never fucking do that in a million years because he's a completely ideologically compromised, sides-cucked retard.
The world around them as they get older. Not everyone, but a lot of them. Americans especially. Travel is a great way to...
Basically, the way it works with these people, in my experience, is they tend to construct a dynamic where if they were to criticize the liberal press, it would be because they're supporting Israel too much. Like, they'd still cycle back around to somehow defending minorities, and then they'd find it very difficult to just plainly say, here's an example where the liberal press maligns someone unfairly on the right. That would be my guess.
Broaden your horizons and learn about different cultures, but a lot of Americans don't do that. Only 43% of Americans actually have passports, and more younger people on average want to or have...
Bro, if you just went to a different country, you'd actually be really happy. with the state stuffing immigrants into your fucking small town, the bursting point. Oh my god, bro. Just travel more, and then you'll see actually that you're eroding that the eroding trust in your society is good.
Have traveled more than the elderly. Personally, I don't think this is too surprising though. The more education a person has, the more likely they are to want to travel, and more young people have college-level education compared to the elderly. This is just me theorizing.
Dude, I feel like this is such a reductive view when it comes to Americans. Like, look, are there some fucking boomers that are retarded that haven't travelled? Yeah, obviously. I'm sure that's the case, okay? But I think this is also a product of America as a nation. Because it's so big. You could you could spend your entire life travelling around America and, you know, as in like going on holidays. You could go on 2 holidays a year round America and still not see everywhere that's worth seeing in America. You've got so many different things that you can see just staying within the borders of America without even having to get a fucking passport. Lies. I think that's true. Is it not? Do you not agree? You know, maybe I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but what I'm trying to get at is, you know, it's not just because people are uneducated morons. It's because some people are, but it's also because America is such a large country that, you know, in many ways, you don't necessarily need to travel outside of it to get a lot of different types of places to go and visit. You know? And, yeah. You're pandering to the Yankoids. This will only grow their deluded egos. Yeah, sure. I agree. Obviously, there's some criticisms of the Yankoids. Of course, I've said it myself. But I'm just saying this seems like a very reductive way of describing an issue which I don't think is a product purely of they don't have passports, they're not educated, and that's why they're racist.
Here, but I think attitudes towards the world also play a role here too. All the generations have had it ingrained in them since birth that America is the greatest country in the world, that its faults are far and few between, and everything that it does is better than other countries.
I mean, it gets a lot of stuff right, okay? Can we at least put it like that, okay? It does get a lot of stuff right. I mean, look, I'm not an America cocksucker like some of you clearly are, but there's a reason, like, obviously, yes, there's an element of education that goes into it and the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff like that. But I do think, particularly when you compare things that happen in America to other places in the world, you can see why people prefer that, you know? So yeah, I think when you look at like Western nations and stuff, yeah, maybe it can be a much of a muchness for certain places, but certainly compared to like abhorrent shitholes that don't even have civil rights or democracy or something like that. Name an American prince who was a known pedophile. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein was the equivalent, the US equivalent of a prince. Come on now. I know you don't have the royal family over there, but Jesus Christ. They were mates. Epstein and Prince Andrew were mates.
Institutions and society at large tries to instill this belief in younger people in the present as well, but because of education and more readily available information, they've become accustomed to being more critical of their country. And because of our greater connectivity with other countries, it's easier to get an insight into how governments outside of America operate. It's made them realize how things like higher education loans and private healthcare are completely broken systems, all the while they're hearing excuses from America's defenders about how—
Okay, dude. That is the one thing that I do kind of question. Like, I very much am for a multi-payer system. Like, I think having a state-based healthcare and private healthcare is a good way of handling things, right? I don't like America's healthcare system. I do sometimes wonder and feel and think that the lefties oversell the scale of the issue in order to push their talking points. Because although, yes, there's problems, right? I feel like we're kind of I don't know. You tell me. You tell me, guys. You Yankoids. It just feels like a sort of level of dishonesty where there's this constant effort to paint American healthcare as tantamount to, like, you know, you have a problem and you're left to rot on some hospital gurney somewhere. Where I would presume that there's probably a bit more to it than that. You know, probably is barriers to you just dying because you can't afford healthcare and so on and so on and so on. But yeah. What is this? Chud, they're saying the trans people are being genocided. They love lying and are sexually aroused by it. Right, okay, dude. It's, yeah, sure. It's a hassle sometimes, but it's very overblown. I do think it's probably overblown. My guess is that it's probably overblown. You know.
It has to be this way because it's what makes them the best. People don't like having their truths challenged though, and it doesn't help when other people, news outlets, etc. try to uphold these truths, no matter how damaging they might be. Networks like Fox News, Republican politicians, and online mouthpieces affirm these ideas through the possibility of things getting even worse than they already are.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Edward Nigma became a member. Edward Nigma celebrates 4 months of membership. Was he saying that without diversity everything would be better nowadays? Busy at work, sorry this was late.
No worries. Thank you for the membership.
That it's better to maintain the status quo, which is easier to invest in when you're someone that the status quo favors. There's been multiple occasions where I delicately tried to explain to America's defenders how other countries, including my own, do things better, and how no country should see itself as perfect, and on more than one occasion they push back by saying, it's just how we do things here, as though it justifies.
Dude, this is such a cancerous way of framing it. I spoke to some person and they said this in response to what I said. I was correct and they were wrong. I mean, this feels like a bit of a straw man as well. I don't think, like, obviously you guys in chat are fucking going, America, America, right? I'm fairly certain the most reasonable people would accept that there's things that America could do better and that other countries are better at doing, right? It's just that people perceive the overall benefits of living in America outweigh the things that don't go as well. And they look at other countries and think, well, I wouldn't want that. That would be a deal breaker for me if it was in my country, you know? But this idea
America's defenders how other countries, including delicately someone that the status quo favors. There's been multiple occasions where I delicately tried to explain to America's defenders how other countries, including my own, do things better, and how no country should see itself as perfect.
Okay. No country should see itself as perfect. Wait, what? Does America see itself as perfect? Am I crazy here? Like, that seems like a massive straw man. The country isn't alive, first of all, and presumably he means, you know, the people within it see it as perfect. There's no collective consciousness. Dude, it's like he's acting like there's a hive mind in America and they all think the same thing about it. Well, the reality is there's a bunch of different people with different political views that have all got different perspectives on what they think of their country. What would you say is America? Are we talking about the government? Does the government see itself as perfect? Both the Republicans and Democrats disagree about what that looks like and often oppose each other in terms of what they think they should do in order to improve America. I mean, the fact they're trying to improve is surely evidence that they see themselves as perfect.
Quiet yet smug seething should be studied. You cannot browbeat people over ignorance whilst talking about socio-economic aspects.
Thank you for the super chat. Anyway, yeah, very cringe.
And on more than one occasion they push back by saying, it's just how we do things here, as though it justifies it. I also sometimes hear,
yeah, I'm sure that there's some people that would retardedly say, that's how we do things here. There's also other people that would be able to point out and argue why you do things the way that you do, and would have an actual argument to back that up, and you would have to, you know, find points to disagree with that. This idea that it's just, this is how we do things here. I'm sure some retards say that. Sure, I don't know who you were talking to. But there's also people that can make strong arguments as to why they believe the healthcare system is the way it should be. Well, obviously, I don't agree with that, but then that's the point, isn't it? You have a disagreement about the actual arguments of why you think the healthcare system should be this, 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 and this. Anyway.
Well, if you don't like it, then why don't you go back home? Why don't you apply for a passport, bitch? This is their truth, though, and it's an idea.
Well, they were born there. They are an American citizen, and they've got an absolute right to be there because they were born within those borders. So yeah, they don't have to go anywhere. I mean, obviously, I think that it's stupid to be like, just go somewhere else if you don't like it. I mean, obviously, you can be critical of a country without having to leave the country. But that's just a really dumb response to that concept.
Idea that's propped up by the possibility of things being better, but that idea is sold to people through anger and fear. It makes people think that if they don't stay angry, then they make themselves vulnerable, since they won't be properly prepared to react. All those people on January 6th, they were a result of this, including Jimmy Pesto. I guess Bob was right all along. He is an arsehole. That's the news for you though, a constant stream of everything bad that's happening everywhere at any given time. People like to say that they wish the news would show good things happening, but we're drawn to the negative like a moth to a flame. We want to be outraged, as much as we don't like to admit it. It doesn't help that most of
When you frame it like that, you want to be outraged. I mean, maybe that sounds a bit like a provocative way of phrasing it. No one likes the idea because outrage suggests that there's some sort of excessiveness with it or something. But I think most people would probably agree that we are drawn to these types of content. We're drawn to these types of media material, you know? Yeah, the way he's framing it is like this is groundbreaking information. And it's like, I think most people would probably agree that we do find ourselves drawn to things which are provocative and exciting and
money off depressed people.
Yeah.
Quixotic became a member. Quixotic celebrates 4 months of membership. This guy made a video justifying getting a passport solely to go to Thailand and buy a wife because he is too revolting in his home country.
That sounds defamatory, but thank you for the membership.
the news that we consume on TV, online, and elsewhere is funded by advertisers, so there's a financial incentive to keep you looking. News anchors can tell.
Wait, what? I'm just hearing this now for the first time. You're telling me that a financial incentive underpins all of this? And what's the reason for that? Oh, could it be capitalism? Could it be capitalism bad? Am I right, guys? Dude, this is so obnoxious, bro. Guys, did you know there's actually incentives at play here? Groundbreaking stuff.
Tell you about a war that's happening and try to sell you prescription drugs between the segments. Social media operates on a similar model. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube use algorithms designed to...
Yeah, exactly. Dramatic interactions are naturally entertaining and fascinating because all of us live fairly mundane, unremarkable lives. Okay? The kinds of people that are living lives at like the top echelons, traveling all the time and doing this, and this. That's like the top X%. Very, very slim. Most people live fairly boring, mundane lives. And bro, you don't want to fucking sit there and watch some drone in an office doing shit because that's what you do all the fucking time. Okay? Maybe The Office, is an example against that. But the point is, you don't want to have you want to go home and you want to be titillated. You don't want to go home and sit there and think about how shit your day was. You want to have something to entertain you, distract you. Something engaging, something exciting, something spicy. Yes, obviously they feed it to you and there's a profit incentive there. But also we ourselves seek that out because otherwise life would be even more mundane and boring if we're sat at home and we're not able to fucking engage with stuff that's a little bit exciting in our lives,
to keep users engaged by steering them towards outrage-inducing content. This often leads to a cycle where users continuously scroll for new posts, updates, and opinions while sharing their own.
Oh, and did you know, guys? Here's something for you. These developers that make these apps, they actually look at human psychology. Did you know that? They actually tap into your brain to figure out what to do to make you click.
Thoughts. The validation they receive through likes and reposts encourages them to stay engaged, creating a dopamine-driven loop fueled by feedback from strangers. People enjoy it when others, even those that they've never met and never will, agree with them, especially when a well-known figure or influencer interacts with their posts. When something goes wrong, people want to be involved in the conversation, and that's because in a twisted way, it gives them a sense of community. They can feel affirmation from
a twisted way. It's like some of the stuff he's describing here, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. I think that is fair. Yeah, we have these dynamics at play. But then he's like, in a twisted way, it gives him a sense of community. I mean, I think, bro, I feel like this guy is putting a lot of himself in that as well. Because yes, there's people that want to be in a community and get obsessed and hyperfixated and stuff like that. There's also a ton of people who just want to blow off steam. They're not looking for a community. They've got a family, they've got a life. And they look through and they scroll stuff because it's entertaining. And they blow off steam by being a dickhead online. So yeah, I don't think it's quite as all-encompassing as this guy would seemingly is framing it as. And then also this idea that it's twisted. This sense of community is a twisted thing. It's not twisted, bro. People want to fucking, connect with other people online that have got similar interests to them and they just so happen to want to complain, about whatever shit they want to complain about. Well, Nicholas, we're theorizing about what drugs this guy might be taking to be like this, so...
It gives them a sense of community. They can feel affirmation from the invisible crowd that exists in online spaces. They can feel as though that what they're saying matters in important situations, and that their opinion is valuable, even though it ultimately doesn't change anything. And believe me, I'm really not trying to be cynical here. It's just what it is. If something happens like a shooting and someone makes a post with an emotional appeal to stop...
Oh my god, dude. I feel like I'm listening to myself when I was 14 years old again. Yes, we get it. Yeah, people post shit and it doesn't change anything. It is this... He's trying to claim he's not cynical. But it is a very, cynical view that you express when you're like a teenager. Yeah, exactly, Nate. This has been said before and better. Exactly. Yes, I don't fundamentally disagree with the idea that us posting online doesn't change things. It just feels like in 2024, it's a moot point. And yeah, other people have said it way better and way more entertainingly, funnily enough, than this guy has.
Stop them from happening again, which gets thousands of engagements. It feels meaningful to the people involved, but it doesn't change anything. That's just social media for you, though. It makes the things said that exist within a vacuum feel like they have an impact on the real world. So why do we go out of our way to be angry at things? We spend our entire lives pursuing happiness, and we're told that it's the most important thing to have, yet all of us can't seem to resist the allure of anger and outrage. It's one of the many strange contradictions.
It's not a contradiction. How is this a fucking contradiction? This is such an absurd, false contradiction he's created, right? So, this idea that because we like going online and getting in a bit of drama and having a laugh at people being retarded, that's a contradiction to us seeking happiness. Most well-adjusted normal people are going out there and seeking happiness in substantial ways in their lives. Yes, it's mundane, but they're getting a partner, getting married. They're seeking out fundamental connections that are hopefully going to, spending time with family and so on and so on and so on. Right? That is what people are doing in terms of seeking happiness. I don't think going online and having a laugh about how much Concord sucked is a contradiction to that goal. Because people can do that. They can look at their phone and go, oh my god, this Concord game fucking sucks, dude. I can't believe it. Anyway, I'm going out for some beers with the lads on Friday night. It's that kind of dynamic. Or I'm really excited about the weekend. We're going away as a family or something. Whatever your fucking aspect is of where you are in your life.
Of the human condition, but it exists for a reason. As you can probably guess, anger is a product of human evolution. It's a response in our brain, specifically our amygdala, that triggers whenever something is seen as unjust or unfavorable compared to a preferred outcome. It's a survival mechanism that helps you react to your environment, and it's the same part of you that just made you open your Discord after hearing that ping.
I knew that was a trick, did you? Did you know that? Did you get tricked? I didn't get tricked. That's because I have my Discord notifications off, to be fair. Yeah, just learning about brain chemistry. This shit is crazy.
That was me. Sorry. While they are separate emotions, anger and fear are closely
Need drama stop to benchmark my psychosis. Thank you for the super chat.
related and work in tandem with each other. They both help activate our fight or flight instinct and help us react to potential dangers. And as this happens, our body releases adrenaline to assist with aggression or escaping. Adrenaline provides a boost of energy so we can react to dangers and make you feel powerful, even in a situation where you essentially have no power, such as an online discussion. As mentioned a moment ago though, social media facilitates users with the means to feel powerful by allowing them to receive engagement, which gives the opportunity for them to have their anger validated, reciprocated, and even challenged, which can create more anger and more adrenaline. Being angry, or even having your anger recognized, can also be cathartic. Even things like shouting or swearing out of anger can feel good. In fact, there's been studies that show that shouting...
Dude, the thing is like, I don't really think he's saying anything wrong here. Like, yeah, this is probably all fairly accurate and, you know, indicative of how we engage with social media. You know, we used to get chased by a tiger. Now we look at our phone. I don't fucking know. It just feels like so outdated, does it not? It's like, bro, this would have slapped in 2020. If you'd have got this out in 2020, you'd be on to a fucking winner. This would be a 500k view BreadTube video in 2020. Just feels so out of date. You know, it's like, okay, we get it. Yeah, we have adrenaline and shit when we look on Twitter. Yeah, it's like, I feel like this is, I mean, is anyone learning anything here they didn't already know? I guess it's not really his thing to teach people stuff they don't know, but it just seems like a really odd choice for a video to put out in 2024, delving into why we look at X so much or something.
Profanities can increase a person's pain tolerance by up to 33%, since adrenaline has an analgesic effect. Simply having your anger recognized by others can be cathartic too. By being angry...
This is true, actually. Whenever I look at X, I just smash my hand with a hammer, and I feel absolutely nothing.
And seeing people react to your anger, regardless of the reaction to it, it can make you feel seen. Anger is also a response to a diminishing or absent sense of control over a situation.
100 IQ retard that thinks he is a genius, giving milquetoast old boring takes that basically mean nothing. Yes, exactly. Anyway, shortly we'll get to a funny bit, okay? I know already.
Control is more important to humans than we like to think. Some of us need too much of it, some of us need a smaller amount.
And also, I think it characterizes the entire video. And I think that it's kind of disguised. When we get to it, you'll see. I think that this is another example where a guy is disappointed with the way that his channel has gone because he's attached himself to the sinking ship of BreadTube and hasn't diversified or moved forward with his content. And I think, honestly, he probably feels a bit bitter about it. He probably feels a bit disappointed about it. Probably feels a bit upset about it. And so his response is to lash out at content that people are actually more interested in engaging with. I mean, his channel isn't doing so bad. He's got 117k subs, 41k views, 14k views. It's pretty rough for a channel of that size. 55k, 71k. Okay. But then 9.9k. This was quite well received from the looks of it, but anyway, it goes on. That's my guess. That is my guess on this guy, and that's why he's made a whole big video justifying, you know, I mean, the comment about the changing the title too, I don't know, dude, it feels like a lot of code.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
He's right, anger is profitable. This video is so infuriating. I feel compelled to send borderline unhinged super chats.
Thank you for the super chats.
Just be comfortable, but we all need some. When we fear that we're losing control, we can respond to it by getting angry, and more commonly among men, it can be responded to with aggression, whether that's verbal or physical.
Well, I think I'm seeing one particular reason. There's so much aggression in this particular moment.
I'm going to go a bit off track here, but anger is something that's seen as a more acceptable response for men to have, since it has a close association with masculinity and a need to domineer over others.
Oh, let's
a
go!
trait related
A
to
fight!
toxic masculinity.
Right. Oh, he's got a
Since
knife!
we're so used
Bro, that was the best bit in the video. Show more of that. Show more of that knife fight.
to seeing men get angry, some might conclude that they're more prone to it than women, but that may not be the case. A study by Southwest Missouri State
Oh! Oh, guys, I've got to study. I'm ready to debunk. I've got to study. This feels like it's in a time warp. 2024 and someone is referencing a fucking study in their video essay about anger. Source.
University found that women not only got as angry as men, but acted on it at the same frequency as they do. They identified that when men are forced to contain their anger, they feel less effective. Women, on the other hand, have better control over their impulses induced by anger. There's a couple of possible factors that explain this. One study showed that even though men and women have similarly sized amygdalas, women have a much larger orbital frontal cortex.
Don't worry, guys, it's coming up. Don't worry, guys, just got to get through this bit, and then it's coming up. The segment called That Time I Felt Worthless. Okay, it is coming, guys.
Which is the part of the brain that regulates aggressive impulses. The other, and perhaps more likely reason...
He used to feel worthless, but now he's on a cocktail of mental health medication, and he feels a lot better, I'm sure.
...is that, in general, society conditions women to believe that it's important to keep their anger under control.
Who watches shit like this man? Not that many people. I mean, 13,500 views in that many days for a channel with 117,000 subs is pretty dire, really. You know, when his main... And bear in mind as well, you know, he's putting out a video... Because that's the other thing to bear in mind too. The viewership is a lot more important when you're putting out videos seldomly. So he's got a video 3 days ago. He's got a video
I should get a real job.
18th of August. Shit. So that's like a month and a half ago. So yeah, it's like, it hits a lot harder when you're only putting out one video a month. And then also he's got his, I noticed this earlier as well, he's got his weekly live stream. Oh, dude. I feel like a lot of these breadtubers are just kind of like riding along from their Patreon support they probably had earlier in their career. And the dribs and drabs and scraps that are left. And they can just top it up with an occasional live stream and a monthly video and they're laughing.
And that expressions of anger are something exclusive to men. They're taught that women need to be calm and collected at all times, and it's something necessary to retain order, whilst men are permitted to sow chaos.
That's based.
In online spaces where people are afforded some level of anonymity and able to cultivate an identity from scratch, it's possible to express anger in a wider variety of ways compared to an in-person interaction. It could be video content, pictures, memes, comments, tweets, and so forth, but the restrictions imposed upon us by society are far looser online, which means that we're able to potentially be more aggressive, possibly to an unhealthy...
Okay, dude. Unhealthy degree. Who the fuck determines that, bro?
Okay, that's wonderful.
Most people are just letting off steam. It's not that deep, dude.
Give him a minute, he will start shitting on James Summerton.
Thank you for the super chat. Most people are fine. You get a small proportion of people that probably have got some issues, but we're talking about less than 1% probably. Most people have got lives and are just blowing off steam. There's people that do probably engage in unhealthy ways. To be honest, I'd be less concerned with people getting angry and people getting into these kind of endlessly positive echo chambers and then they get transed or something. Do you know what I mean, though? That's a bit silly. But what I'm trying to get across is I think that there's a problem with people becoming unhealthily engaged with the internet. I don't think it's anything to do with anger even. I would be less concerned of someone being angry and more concerned with someone becoming obsessed with being part of a community in like a sort of positive way, like toxic positivity or something. Anyway.
Degree. In recent years, certain groups, especially right-wing ones, have become accustomed to complaining about cancel culture. They claim that progressive, left-wing online mobs go out of their way to find the character flaws and questionable actions of a person and bring them to light in order to ruin their reputation. It's believed that this is done because the people who are allegedly cancelled stand on the
Yes, this is a thing that happens. That is correct.
opposing end of the political spectrum, and progressives use the momentum to deplatform people that they don't like and tarnish the reputation of those they're associated with.
Okay. I think that's all true. Obviously, the narrative that it's only the left that do this is wrong. Rightoids do it as well. Yeah, but other than that, sure.
Now, just to get this out of the way, I don't believe cancel culture is a thing.
Okay, dude. Okay, bro.
Now,
I love the just flat denial of it without even really engaging with it. It's just, it doesn't exist, guys. It doesn't exist. That is the most fundamental. It's not happening, but if it is a good thing. That is the classic thing for me. It's like, oh no, it's not a thing. Oh, but what about this person? Well, they said something really racist, so it's probably good that they got banned, isn't it?
just to get this out of the way, I don't believe cancel
Anyway, let's
culture
hear
is
him
a
out. Let's
thing,
hear him out.
and I don't think that cancelling is really a thing. When information about a person surfaces and it causes damage to their reputation, it's more often than not the case that it's due to something that matters and has legitimacy.
Oh my god, dude, that is such cope. That is such bullshit and cope, dude. Bro, he just did it. He just did it, though. He just did the thing. He just did it. Bro, he literally just did it, though. He just did the thing. It's not happening, but if it is, it's a good thing. He just did the thing. I just fucking said about that. Holy fuck, he did it. He did it. He did the thing. Anyway, I was more focused on the aspect of this idea that it's something that matters and has legitimacy. Because I would firmly disagree with that. I think the cases where it has legitimacy and matters is exceptionally rare. And certainly when this video should have come out, at least around 2020, dude, there was people getting shit all the time for stuff they posted on the internet years ago. It was like a thing. Bro, I remember constantly you'd see these posts that were like, oh, this person said the N-word 10 years ago on social media. Bro, I literally don't care. Couldn't care less.
We should be held accountable for our actions, regardless of...
So yeah, I don't believe in it. Dude, it's not happening, but if it is, a good thing. Classic.
who we are and how long ago they happened. A lot of people like to complain about cancel culture, claiming that it's a petty sport that people online like to participate in without any regard for the damage that it does, implying that most people who get cancelled didn't actually deserve it. Some celebrities, especially ones over the age of 50, if we're being honest, even say that they live in fear of being cancelled even though they didn't do anything wrong.
What kind of sheltered life has he lived? I got far worse shit IRL at work than even the worst keyboard warriors. He's also has almost no understanding of how to actually interpret scientific studies.
Thank you for the 10 Australian dollars. Dude, the other problem with this as well is even if you think that there's a reasonableness to someone being queried or questioned about their actions, Louis C.K. is probably a good example of this, right? So Louis C.K. self-admitted, jerked off in front of women. He did ask permission. Should he have done it? No. Obviously creates an uncomfortable dynamic. Fair enough to criticize him for that, right? But do you remember when Louis C.K. was trying to come back after the outrage, right? It wasn't just that people were trying to hold him to account or criticizing him. People were like calling up comedy venues to try and get his gigs cancelled. It wasn't enough.
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
The reason why this video seems like it is from 2020 is because it is. BREADTUBERs are lazy communists, so it takes them too long in between siestas to make a video on time.
Very true. Thank you for the $10. But it's it's like, yes, I do defend Louis C.K. Yes. Those women literally asked for it now. I don't actually. I think he was wrong to do what he did. But I think he had a very embarrassing expose about it. He had to account for it publicly, right? Time went by and then he came back. Totally fine. He didn't break any laws. He didn't need to go to jail. He committed, socially egregious acts and was punished accordingly, having to take time out of the limelight, losing $35 million and so on and so forth, right? Anyway, the basic point is that he came back, tried to start his comedy career up again, and people were like not just criticizing him, they were trying to get his gigs cancelled. They were calling venues saying, no, he can't come back. He's not allowed to come back. When it's literally like, person A, I'm doing a comedy show. Person B, I want to watch the comedy show. Venue, yep, we can facilitate that. Everyone happy with that agreement. But this other person, who was never going to go and watch the show anyway, wants to butt in and try and get that venue to cancel the show because apparently it's so bad that he can never participate in society in the same way that he did again. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like there are times when people are legitimately cancelled, right? Like if you nonce people up and stuff like that, sure, whatever. There's probably examples we can think of where someone being able to openly participate in the limelight when they done something very egregious is probably bad. But that's the minority. Most of the time, it's a load of fucking bullshit, okay? And anyone that has followed cancel culture stories and looked at the kind of general cultural aspects of it, yeah, it normally is bullshit.
But personally, I can't help but think that if you're worried about being cancelled all the time, you probably did something wrong.
Or you are looking at someone getting hauled over the coals for the most minor social crime that happened 10 years ago. Oh, they said a slur 10 years ago. That gets dredged up and brought up and everyone talks about how bad they are for doing it. Maybe you're looking at that and going, well, I did do something wrong. I said something bad on the internet 10 years ago, but I don't think it justifies being hauled over the coals for it. Anyway, very irritating take, very frustrating take.
While accountability is important, some trends have arisen when it comes to people on the internet participating during an event where someone is being called out for their actions. It usually begins with a news article, tweet, or video that's well researched and is backed up by credible witnesses or possibly victims of the perpetrator. The story gains momentum because once again people are drawn to controversy. It gets engagement and spreads like wildfire, with thousands, possibly millions of people chiming in with their opinions. Some voice their disgust and a handful will defend them using worn-out defenses like how what they did was a long time ago or that their actions are being blown.
Wait, what worn-out defenses? No, these are legitimate defenses, are they not? Wait, what?
Some voice their disgust and a handful will defend them using worn-out defenses.
What do you mean worn out defense? Bro, the idea that you weren't in a place to commit a crime because you were somewhere else has been used a lot. Does that mean that it's worn out? No, if it's valid, it's valid. It doesn't become worn out. What are you on about worn out? If it's a fair defense, it's a fair defense regardless. But worn out suggests that it's being overused, suggests that there's an unreasonableness about using it, right? Or that you've used it to the point of it being useless. Something's worn out, you can't use it anymore because you've used it too much. Where we're not talking about a fucking car, we're talking about a reasonable defense. Yes, if they did something a long time ago, we would take that into account. If someone was young when they did something, we take that into account. That's totally reasonable.
Like how what they did was a long time ago or that their actions are...
Yes, that is also a valid defense. My actions are being blown out of proportion. Absolutely.
Are being blown out of proportion, etc. Cancelling someone or some entity has sort of become an event. People wake up in the morning to see that it's happening again, go out of their way to inform themselves, and when armed with what they feel is enough information, they'll decide whether to join in. Some even go as far as to try and hunt down more information that has...
Okay, I like the direction he's going here. Okay, yeah, sure, this does happen. Yeah, people do participate and jump in and stuff like that. You know, it's the classic thing of like, you know, someone is getting shit for something and they're getting 1,000 people tell it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're online, you got to accept this. That's the long and short of it. But it's like, yeah, people see 1,000 people shitting on someone and are like, well, I need to join in on that. clearly my take is also needed. It's like, yeah, people have got a weird way of engaging with it. They want to be part of it. They want to be part of the takedown, part of the criticism, part of the shitting on the person, the dog pile. Sure.
Been discovered yet to add fuel to the fire. This fire keeps burning until an algorithm tells you that it's no longer profitable enough for people to pay attention to and directs their eyes elsewhere. As the frequency of cancelling has increased though, it seems as though some people have developed a taste for it.
That's
Whether
true.
it affects them directly or not, people want to know what happened, gauge the level of disgust from the crowd,
Okay, that's
and
wonderful.
decide if
But
they
how do I
should
make money off depressed people?
What's his takes on Tyson and Dr. Diddler? Dude, I don't know. I don't know if they got into that. That would be drama content and provoking outrage.
meet their level of outrage, or maybe even attempt to inflate it. It's kind of a blood in
Bro, if I feel like he's describing I'm
the
Alex.
water situation. People have become drawn to it because if they join in, they can be validated by others for being angry. The collective can feel powerful since they're being recognized by the world at large, with every single voice feeling important, capable of painting the public's perspective.
My takeaway from this video so far, this is just your moral treats quote, but soified to oblivion. I mean, yeah, like, I guess that's personally why I'm a bit like, okay, dude, because I feel like I was speaking about this fucking years ago. I'm very cynical about it all now and don't care that much to talk about it in that level. It's like, yeah, people are dickheads online. That's my kind of take now. You got to just accept it. If you can't handle it, fuck off. But yeah, this feels like a few years too late.
Perception of a person or entity. It's the allure of power and control, but at the same time, I'm not saying that their rage isn't warranted.
Oh yes, of course. Don't question the soys. If the soys are angry about you saying a slur 10 years ago, we can't possibly contest that might not be warranted. We can't do that.
Power has its appeal, and in a world where many of us feel like we have little to no power, we sometimes take
Like the blacks and the gays.
what we can get. As people have learned what goes into a successful cancellation, it's being used against people who may not actually deserve.
People will call you fat and gay online. If you can't handle it, fuck off. Yes, exactly. Bro, people are... Look, if you're just some random person on the internet, right? Yeah, I don't think you should get fucking shit on. That's a bit much for my tastes, okay? But if you're putting yourself out there in any way, including publishing statements on social media that are harsh, brutal, savage, particularly if you're a YouTuber or content creator, yeah, that just is the way it is, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth. Dude, it's so frustrating how people will take the positives of a situation, the money and attention that they get, but then they'll scream bloody murder when they get negative attention. Yeah, you're going to get both. That's just the way it goes.
It as a means of expressing their dislike towards them. This is largely applicable to online figures such as YouTubers and influencers, where if they do something like express an opinion that some people don't agree with or are just ideologically opposed to a group, some will go out of their way to unearth information on them which some might find objectionable, or in some cases they might just fabricate evidence. And since the flow of information on the internet moves so quickly, few will go out of their way to verify whether it's true.
I mean, I kind of broadly agree that that's the case. I don't know if it's fabricate. People often will overstate or misrepresent things. Fabricating stuff's quite rare, but I suppose it does happen.
We see and react because we don't want to miss out on something.
Right, guys, here we go. Watch out. Guys. Content warning, trauma, and ideation. In the segment titled, That Time I Felt Worthless. Now, I have read the transcript to check a detail before I watch this, so I'm a bit spoiled on this, but I haven't watched it yet. This, I'm sure, you're going to enjoy, okay?
Since I'm fairly open about where I stand politically and share
Okay.
many of my opinions about a variety of things, understandably, I've been met with some opposition. Because of
Okay.
this, I've had to deal with situations in which people have cherry picked statements to criticize or recontextualize them in order to make them seem far worse than what was intended.
Oh, bro, you got clip chimped. Cry me a fucking river, dude. Yeah. Welcome to everyone else's world. Welcome to the world of a streamer, dude. Bro, this guy is NGMI if he's crying about getting fucking clip chimped as a content creator. Bro, would he apply this generosity to others? Would he look at, like, I don't know, a 2020 clip of fucking Vaush or Destiny floating about? I don't know if he's a fan of either of those. But would he give that generosity to them as well and go, oh, clip chimp? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical about that idea. But at the end of the day, people get clip chimped. People clip chimp you. My response is to not care and just say, yes, I am racist, actually. That's the funniest way to deal with it. But you can also try and respond and give your take and give your perspective and stuff like that if you want to. But the reality is, people are going to do that. The best way to do it is just be like, I'm all the things that you say that I am, correct?
On a couple of occasions,
Sorry, NGMI means not going to make it.
I've had people who have an issue with me completely fabricate information about me, like telling people how they've looked into my history and found something that will end my career and how they'll post it on Reddit. This isn't unique to me.
Wait, hang on a sec. But what did they do? Was it just a threat, or did they actually do it? Right? Is this guy worried about people falsely claiming they're going to destroy him and not actually doing it? Huh? Also, yeah, don't forget though, guys, cancel culture isn't real. It's not a thing. And people deserve it. Maybe you deserve to have information fabricated about you. I don't know, dude. Maybe that's just accountability culture. This guy feels very sensitive. At the end of the day, yeah, people are shitters on the internet. That's it. End of discussion.
But I've also had long-term supporters and people who support me on Patreon withdraw their pledges because they didn't agree with something I said in a video.
Yeah, people withdraw support because they don't agree with you. So what? Dude, it's just, yeah. You don't want, bro, you don't want those people in your fucking audience anyway. That is fucking taking out the trash, as far as I'm concerned. Because people are going to cut and not going to support you anymore because they don't agree with you on one point. Well, fuck those people, yeah. You do not want, and this is a real problem when you're on the fucking progressive side of things, particularly the far left, is people will cut ties if you have a take that, you know, they disagree with, right? You know, and the thing is like, it's not perfect. I'm sure there's people on the right that are like this too, don't get me wrong. I just feel on a kind of vibes basis, it is worse on the left, right? I feel like I could have a bunch of progressive takes and the righties would be pissed off about that one take, but then we'll watch my next stream and it wouldn't be a problem. Whereas I feel like when I gave takes about Rittenhouse that the progressives didn't like, I lost way more of my audience and regular chatters. It got replaced by new people, don't get me wrong. But I feel like I lost a lot more people on the basis of that one take than me having spicy takes about the riots and talking about Muslims wanting to do this, that, and the other to you know, you fantasizing about Muslims and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like there's more of it. I think I lost one person. There's one person that I lost by having quite a provocative and aggressive take in regards to like a progressive take on the riots, right? Or think of it like this. I openly said that I voted for Labour, right? If I were to say that I openly voted for Trump, do you think that progressives would just stomach that and stay with me and keep watching me? You know, far left progressives. Do you think they'd be like, oh, this guy voted for Trump. That's fine. I still like his content. Versus, I say that I vote for Labour. Yes, I get some shit from chat and whatever, Starmer's glasses or whatever you want to talk about. But fundamentally, I feel like people are willing to accept it and accept that political disagreement because the rest of my content they like anyway, you know? Chud literally told us to get over inflation. But that's the thing. It doesn't matter, really. It's all fucking fun and games at the end of the day. You know? It's not that big a deal. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Like, this is how normal people engage. You have massive disagreements with someone, but you're still personal friends with them like I'm with you. But no, you're still friends with people that you disagree with. So, in my mind, people not liking a take you've got and cutting financial ties and not supporting you anymore is a good thing if they're genuine. If they're genuinely saying, I can't financially support you because I disagree with you on this one issue, right? Or they just don't want to support you anymore and they've come up with a justification for doing so. Either way, it doesn't matter. Who cares, bro?
Withdraw also had long-term supporters and people who support me on Patreon withdraw their pledges because they didn't agree with something I said in a video. Creators have access to exit surveys on Patreon where donors can state the reason why they're stopping, and on multiple...
I don't bother reading those. I don't get many Patreon supporters. But if you're going to stop giving me money, why would I care about your opinion?
That's wonderful. But how do I
Literally
make
couldn't care
money
less. Just
off
fuck
depressed
off.
people?
I don't
The
care.
cancel
Good luck.
culture segment was bad.
It's not personal.
The best part was him saying that people who are afraid of being cancelled did something. Replace cancelled with witchcraft.
Based.
If you are afraid of being a witch, you are probably a witch.
Very true,
that's
Baron.
wonderful.
Thank you.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
You purity tested higher on the left. Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Anyway, at the end of the day, people withdrawing support is totally fine. Don't take it personally. And I personally don't think you're going to get much from those exit surveys because, you know, who knows if they're even telling the truth. Someone could just be saying anything, but they're just embarrassed about the fact they can't afford to support you anymore, you know? So I just don't really take much stock in that sort of thing. People come and go. You get people that will support you for a while, then they'll stop supporting you. Maybe they come back later, maybe they don't. This is just the ebbs, the peaks and troughs of being a content creator. You know, people are going to come and support you, not support you. It's fine. It's not personal. It's not that big a deal. Anyway, let's see how he frames this, shall we?
Something I said in a video. Creators have access to exit surveys on Patreon where donors can state the reason why they're stopping. And on multiple occasions, I've had people say, sometimes in very cruel ways, how they're pulling their support because I've said something that they didn't entirely agree with.
Very cruel. He's there reading cruel Patreon exit survey comments.
These have been people who've supported me since the beginning, told me how they admire me and my work, but all it took was one thing for them to change all
Yep, viewers can be fickle retards. Yes, correct.
that. Things that in my and other people's opinions
Womp
aren't
womp.
inflammatory, offensive, or without merit. Financial circumstances change, and not everyone can afford a monthly pledge to a content creator. Some people also just stop enjoying your content or don't have the time to watch it.
Yeah, literally. So why take it so personally? Who cares, bro? Oh, someone said your content sucks and you're a retard for this one point. Okay. Ain't that fucking deep? You should have enough people supporting you that that's not a fucking problem that gets to the fundamental aspect of your core ego.
And I do not begrudge them for that. For smaller creators such as myself, Patreon income is extremely important. Not only is it the place where I can earn more than YouTube revenue, but it's far more stable and reliable than
wonderful.
it. Even
how do I make money off
Hey!
Tony Stefanuk became a
Thanks for
member.
the 10 gifted. I'm going to mute it though because it will just cycle through all the people. But thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's very generous. Mixed cereal. Dude, do you see what I'm saying with you? Would you see what I was saying to you about this feels like a Cope video where he's bothered by the fact that he's not, you know, being as successful as he should be, right? Anyway, it gets better. Check this out.
Even $1 donation is worth more than 1,000 views. It's that valuable. For people to use it as a means to ensure that the content you create caters to their tastes and opinions identically, and to threaten your livelihood if you step out of line is frankly appalling. If I'm being more frank, holding someone's income hostage is also a form of financial abuse.
No way! This guy's claiming that people stopping supporting you financially because they disagree with your take is financial abuse. But it took a while to get there, but I told you guys this was fucking a banger, okay? I told you. It's buried in here, but it's there. It's there. It's right there, dude. It's financial abuse, apparently. Also, cancel culture isn't real, by the way. Yeah, dude, what are you on about? Cancel culture isn't a thing. I don't believe in it. And people are just holding you accountable. for having the wrong take about something. Do you see what I mean, though? Why I think this guy is genuinely cut up about the fact that the slop tent is getting shitloads of views. He's obviously, well, I would guess he's struggling. People are leaving on Patreon. He's probably not replacing them because he's not releasing regularly enough. Doesn't stream regularly enough. Oh, shit. Musty, I had you muted. Let me just replay that. Thank you for the 20 bucks.
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
I have some the most extreme right-wing, conservative, constitutionalist opinions, and I love watching your coverage. Once my whaling cooldown is up, you are gonna get oiled up like I did Queeman's stream yesterday.
Thank you very much, Musty, for the $20.
But
Appreciate that. Very generous. Thank you.
People?
I smell of a hint of a certain kind of gene. I mean, it's just so crazy to me that you'd be this cut up about people saying, yeah, I'm cancelling my Patreon because you had a shit take on this, you fucking idiot. Like, bro, who cares? People are cruel on the internet. Get over it, dude. Bro, let me listen to that again, though.
For people to use it as a means to ensure that the content you create caters to their tastes and opinions identically, and to threaten your life.
How is it threatening your livelihood?
Make fun of you for disagreeing with them. The left usually wants you to face a wall. That's the difference.
Thank you for the $5. Dude, this is a crazy way of framing it. Someone withdrawing support because they don't like your content, it doesn't cater to them, or even they really disagree with you on one point, and that's threatening your livelihood. Dude, the only person threatening your livelihood is yourself, because you've not got enough fucking gas in the tank to support yourself. Yes, thank you. Abuse me more. Abuse me. Abuse me. I'm like a battered wife right now with these super chats. Like that on my face. $10. But you've got to agree with me. $5. But if you disagree, there's no more coming. Exactly. If it gets to that point where your livelihood is threatened because of a couple of retards withdrawing Patreon support because they disagree with you, get a normal job. Clearly it's not going to work out. You should not be that reliant on one stream of income, on one stream of revenue, to that degree where a few people withdrawing support would bring about such a significant threat to your livelihood. That's mental.
Livelihood, if you step out of line, is frankly appalling. If I'm being more frank, holding someone's income hostage is also a form of financial abuse. So if you're one of the people who use that method on me or any other creator, you should know that when you're being explicit about this behavior, you're causing psychological harm to a human being.
This guy's getting psychological damage from people being mean in a Patreon exit survey. This is unbelievable. Dude, look at his face. Look at his face. He looks like traumatized. This is the face that a Vietnam War veteran gets when a fucking bullet goes off behind them. What on earth, dude? This guy's fucking lost it. He's gone insane. Pure psychic damage. It's crazy to me. You'd be this cut up about it. It's just, yeah, people are going to, like, that's a good thing. Anyone that cuts themselves off saying, I won't support you because you don't agree with me, is good. You should have enough other people supporting you that you don't need to worry about that. If you are that worried about it, you probably need to get a normal job because you don't have enough support anymore. What is his Patreon like anyway? Oh, where is it? Let's have a little look. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Things are looking a bit bleak over at Salari's Patreon, it seems. Uh-oh. Right. Now, there has been a bit of a change in the exchange rate, so let me turn it into real money for you all. So he is currently earning £263.50 a month. Okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. That is that equates to $345 a month. Oh dear. Bro, I did. I make that on a slow day, to be honest with you. I mean, my Patreon, to be fair, compare
Okay,
like for
that's
like,
wonderful.
there's
But how
nothing
do
on
I
my
make
Patreon. I make
money
barely any
off
money from
depressed
it,
people?
okay?
But mass cancellation over a word type 10 years ago isn't financial abuse. He's been financially wailed on by Patreon exit surveys so hard he has sustained severe brain damage.
Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. There's no... Yeah, dude. BreadTube.
Okay, that's
There's no bread
wonderful.
left. It's all
But how do I
crumbs.
make
Good
money
comment from
off
Chatter there.
depressed
Love
people?
it.
Who has been more traumatized, Salari or Jay Quedil?
Tough to say. Basically, this guy is getting financially raped by his audience and you're laughing. Sickening. Thank you, though. I mean, yeah, it's, you know... Well, to be honest with you, I joke about the streaming thing, but does that not prove to your show to you that why doesn't he do that? If things are really that tough that he's crying over people cutting off support because they disagree with him, well, up your game a bit, stream a bit more, do something, you know. You're going on about being a small creator reliant on the income and you're putting out a video a month and streaming once a week. For how long? I don't know. But yeah, you probably need to up your game a bit. Dude,
This video is brought to you by...
These YouTubers. Oh my god, dude. Bro. Streaming once a week for 2.5 hours. 2 hours. 2.5 hours. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Holy fuck, dude. Pulling dog shit numbers as well. Oh boy. What's the streams like? Hey! Let's go!
Okay, that's wonderful.
What's some vibes?
But how do I make money off
He should have
depressed
retired.
people?
He should just
Now I
retire,
understand
yeah.
why
You know,
he
just...
needs to be this
You-
medicated. Don't pledge for 2 months only to rug pull thereafter with unkind exit surveys.
Very true.
That'd be mean.
Thank you for the super chat.
You're a billionaire, Jerry. You just live off that. Perfectly fine. He's complaining because his girlfriends are too young to understand his jokes. Yeah. You can't go trawling around high school.
Wow. Wow, what compelling content. Let's see what he did. He's just talking.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Are his whales mentally challenged? I hit the $500 daily every time I oil up in a stream. I'm not even that loaded. I just give when I make
That's
big wins
based.
on the market.
Thank you for the
Okay,
$10,
that's wonderful.
Musty.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Womp Womp has become such a meme at my shop. A new builder flooded a house because he didn't want to pay us to do something and my boss said Womp Womp.
That's so based. Thank you for the $5.
Anymore looking for 17-year-olds to date. Poor Jerry.
Okay, does he actually do anything or does he just read chat?
Really that simple.
Bro, reading chat is one part of a stream. You can't do an entire stream just engaging with chat. That's crazy. You need to do something. You need to do something that's of interest and entertaining. Bro, he's just reading chat. Okay, maybe he gets better later. Let's see. Come on.
And what that serial number denotes is where it was manufactured, including the country, the factory, and the year that it was manufactured as well. And back then,
Fascinating.
they would do it in a very crude way, not using like screen printing or anything like that. They wouldn't do it by pen, but you know, they just do basic stuff. So it's very easy for these numbers to go missing. So, someone in their wisdom...
Okay. Yeah, Chud, you don't give us enough attention. What I want to do, someone says something annoying and I get angry, okay? Well, talking to chat is fine. As like, I do it like towards the end of a stream if I feel like I'm in a chatty mood or a little bit at the start maybe. But, you know, you got to do something. You know, talk about something of interest. I mean, this guy seems like a total fucking failure in all aspects. So yeah, it feels to me this guy is kind of resting on his laurels of his previous BreadTube success. Obviously, the bread has turned into crumbs. And I feel like he's not really adapted. Okay? And he's you know, stuck in the past, doing a video a month, doing a weekly live stream. where clearly things are getting financially... I mean, there must be. If he's complaining about people leaving Patreon, that should be the least of your fucking concerns. Like, yeah, people are going to leave. You're going to get churn. It's called like customer churn, right? I don't think of it like that because it's a bit corporate. And that's basically what it is. You get people that leave, new people that come along and support, and, you know, you get your regulars who will continue to support you for a, you know, more extended period of time and keep watching you. You got to try and bear in mind of that balance. That's just the way it is. Anyway.
On one occasion, and I won't mention it by name because I don't want to revisit it due to the trauma it caused. And I mean legitimate trauma.
Okay.
I had 20 patrons withdraw their pledge, some who had been there since I began my page, because I asked people to question their relationship with content creators. It turned out that their parasocial connection with some creators was strong enough that what I said angered them, and I lost a not insignificant amount of my monthly income, which I need to live on and pay for production costs at the same time.
Oh my God, dude. And that caused him trauma.
For a creator with thousands of patrons, that can be an acceptable loss. But for someone like me and other creators like me, who's currently surviving on below poverty wages.
Oh my God, that's your fault, retard. Bro, these people are so insufferable. On below poverty wages, and you're releasing a video a month and streaming once a week.
Make money off depressed people.
Looks like this BREADTUBER is needy.
Very good. Thank you for the $5. What is this guy on about, dude? Dude, this, bro, through their own fucking lack of actually putting content out, they're not succeeding. And then they're saying they're living on below poverty wages. That's going to happen if you don't do any fucking work, mate. Yeah, you need to put some effort in and put some shit out there. Holy fuck, dude. Get a job. Get a fucking job. Get a job. Oh, yo! This is so specific to stream, but yes, it is this, dude. Look at that, dude. Him living on poverty wages is his choice. He's self-employed in media. He can either make more content and probably make more money. Or alternatively, he can go and get a job to support himself if he's not making enough money from this. And if that doesn't work, he can just go and work a normal job. Yeah, welcome to life. Welcome to reality. You can't rest on the laurels of your BreadTube success forever. You've got to adapt and move forward. Jesus Christ, dude. That's rough. But he brought it on himself.
From YouTube revenue and pledges, while below, and other creators like me, who's currently surviving on below poverty wages from YouTube revenue and pledges, while being unable to work in a regular job at the same time due to PTSD. It was
He can't work a regular job due to PTSD. I don't think that was from the Patreon thing. I think there's something else he's not telling us, right? Is that confirmed? Like medical, you can't work due to PTSD, or are you just a fucking bed blob? What do you mean? You could just go work any job. You could go work a job with PTSD. Bro, this is such a disgusting, entitled attitude where he's got PTSD, so he can't go and work a normal job. What about all the poor fuckers that are? What about all the poor fuckers that are struggling with mental illness, that don't have a fucking audience they can bleat to? Bro, this guy's so obnoxious.
Made by Mr. Brain and served in a West Country sauce.
Very true. Thank you for the $3. Just an excuse, dude. The reality is, obviously, making content and entertaining people, whatever, it's cushy. It's great to do. I'm lucky enough that I get enough support that, you know, I can earn a living doing this, and I appreciate that, okay? Thank you all very much for helping to support me. But the
Okay,
reality
that's
is,
wonderful.
if push
But
comes to
how do I
shove,
make
you might need to get a
money
normal
off
job.
depressed
That's the
people?
way it goes.
Kangalapi became a member. Kangalapi celebrates 2 months of membership. Fed blob alert.
Thank you for the membership. And also, it's not even like a normal business where you've got like, you know, like with a let's
Okay,
say you're
that's wonderful.
self-employed doing a
But
normal
how do I
business.
make money off depressed people?
He doesn't seem like has a consistent worldview in his journalism. I'm not gonna invest in a fruity liberal who will tell me what I want to hear. Stick to your principles and support follows.
Thank you for the $10. It's like if you've got like, say, a shop, you know, you've got a shop and you're self-employed. You've got like overheads. You've got ongoing costs, energy, rent, etc. Right? Losing customers can genuinely be a very financially destructive issue, which can mean that like you need to renege on your lease. You know, you might need to go bankrupt, etc., etc. Amount of stock that you've paid for that now isn't being sold, and you've got to account for that. There's all these problems that arise as a result of being self-employed in this way. Being self-employed as a content creator is the easiest thing to wrap up in the fucking world. You know, it's not like you've got all of these fucking issues, financial issues. You can just one day go, it's not working out anymore. I'm not making the money that I used to. I'm going to go down and buy my CV and send some fucking CVs out. I'm going to go down to the job center and see what jobs they got for me. It's literally that easy. Because you don't have the same financial concerns that you do if you're running like a traditional small business. So this obnoxious approach of like how difficult it is so crazy when you could easily wrap up this kind of business like that if you needed to.
Devastating to me. Overall, I lost a fifth of my monthly income on Patreon, all because people got mad at me and decided that it was important to punish me. And to be clear, this was...
Bro, I don't think you're being... Also, don't forget, guys, cancel culture isn't a thing. Don't forget. Anyway. Dude, it's not being punished. Like, yeah, people are going to cut ties with you if you say something particularly offensive. To be honest with you, this is also probably a product of appealing so much to the
Okay, that's
leftoids.
wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
It's disturbing as F to hear your lack of supporting me is causing me PTSD. It feels like emotional blackmail. People support for doing a good job.
Thank you for the $10. This is the dude. This is the fundamental laziness of these creators and what causes them problems, right? Because the thing is, when you stream regularly, you're giving more opportunity for people to support you, right? So you're putting yourself out there a lot and you're giving more opportunities for people to engage with your content and give you support. That's why streaming is so fruitful and profitable for people and why people do it regularly. Whereas what these people want is to sit on their laurels, get monthly Patreon support for minimal effort, putting a video out a month and doing a stream every week and maybe getting a few super chats. Whereas this guy's financial woes would be overturned if he focused for a bit on doing streams, putting out a stream, not even like once every day. You could do it like 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 4 streams a week. What's that? That's easy. That's easily done. But you can't even do that before you start fucking trying to emotionally manipulate your audience of how hard it is because people stop supporting you. Bro, just work a bit harder. That's all you need to do. Also, to be so reliant on Patreon like that, when Patreon is very much a platform where people tend to be fickle and will drop support, very quickly. It just seems like a really bad idea. And you're better off looking for like more ad revenue to support yourself.
Okay, that's wonderful.
And again, just putting yourself out there as much as possible to generate that revenue.
It's crazy how they all seem incapable of just accepting that the culture is moving past them and their high school tier politics. They really do think their beliefs are the end point of everything.
Thank you for the $10. So yeah, I don't know, dude. Very cringe, very manipulative, And this whole video seems to be structured around this cope. Like he's acted like it's about people being angry. I sense a lot of bitterness about the fact that Slop does better. And he probably is upset about the fact he's losing all this money and doesn't want to go work a normal job. Bro, if you're a content creator and you're on poverty wages, either work harder or get a job. If you're on poverty wages, that is your own decision. That is your own doing. It is literally as simple as that.
Wasn't just patrons, it was also commenters, tweets, DMs, Discord messages, etc. It was from everywhere. I don't know if any of these patrons or commenters still watch my content or maybe even hate watch it.
I mean, by the numbers, to be honest, mate, it doesn't look likely. I've got to be real with you. It looks like the heyday for salari is finished.
But if you do, and I hope you know who you are, I've wanted to say this for a while now. I'm not angry at you, and I try my best to understand where you were coming from. I really did. However, what you did and what some of you said has left some psychological scars on me that will probably never go away.
This guy's psychologically scarred by a bunch of shitters saying I'm cancelling my Patreon because you don't agree with you. This is unbelievable. Cancel culture isn't real, by the way, guys. Not a thing. Not a thing, he says. It's not a thing. Sounds to me like accountability, am I right, guys? Bro, this manipulation is crazy. The way he's framing this, the way he's putting this across.
You also hurt my wife.
This is getting bad. His wife's involved as well. His wife was also hurt. His wife is also the victim of this financial rape that's happened somehow. Sorry, abuse, I should say.
A bystander who didn't understand why people were so angry because she wasn't involved in this sphere. That morning, I woke up to find her crying as she read your hurtful comments.
Don't look at them then. Why is she looking at them? Just don't look at them. Crying, reading the comments. Oh no. My poor husband. They call him a loser. No. This can't be real, dude.
Something I'll never forget and something I'll always regret because I felt like I brought it upon her. Because
I tell you what, if you care about your wife, maybe start putting some more effort in if you're on fucking poverty wages. What the fuck, dude? Sort your life out, bro. What you doing? Sat here whining about people fucking leaving Patreon. Put some videos out, you fucking loser.
Because of your anger, you made me feel like I was worthless.
Well, I mean, they kind of got a point, to be honest, the way you're acting about it. If you were built of tougher stuff and we're just like, yeah, fuck these guys, whatever, and move forward, I'd be like, okay. But you're sat here moaning about people cutting off Patreon support because they disagree with you, calling it psychological trauma. I mean, what the fuck?
I felt bad because I couldn't be what you wanted me to be 100% of the time.
Okay, womp womp.
And ever since then, I've truly never felt confident in my work.
Oh my god, dude. Everyone's a critic, dude. Yeah. Would you believe it? There's some people that don't like me.
But how do I make
Unbelievable, I know.
Tom Girl became a member. Tom Girl celebrates 13 months of membership. Never give strangers the power to make you feel worthless.
No, exactly. Bro, dude, I literally could not imagine caring about some shitter not supporting you anymore. That's just the way it goes. So be it. That's the way of life. Just move forward. Get some more people to like you. I mean, he is in a quite a difficult place because this BreadTube stuff is kind of on the drop down. But I mean, there's some people that are still making it work. So I don't know. Maybe he could just, I don't know, do something better. I don't know. Oh my god, dude.
Because
I care. Of course I care. You're all my close personal friends. If you stop supporting me, I'd be making a video like this.
I fear that my career could fall apart because people like you are able to exert your power over creators in such cruel ways.
Yeah. People pay you money.
Okay, that's
right?
wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you. His wife took 20 massive comments while he what? Okay, that's out of order.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Come on,
but
dude.
how do I make money off
That's
depressed
out of
people?
line.
His wife took 20 massive comments while he watched.
It's like, yeah, exactly, Codex. You're lucky to have any support whatsoever, let alone support that means you can do this as a career. Like, you should
Okay,
treasure the
that's
support that you
wonderful. But how
have.
do I make money off depressed people?
I'm praying for this guy, folded hands, his downfall.
Okay. Like, treasure the support that you've got. Don't sweat the support that you lose, and accept that people are going to be unreasonable
Okay,
in
that's
choosing
wonderful.
to not
But
support
how
you
do I
anymore.
make
That's just the way
money
that you,
off
it
depressed
is. I
people?
don't know what to
Hawkload
say.
became a member. Hawkload celebrates 7 months of membership. His acting for this is more effort than he's put into anything in the last year.
Okay, that's wonderful. But
You
how do
guys,
I
you guys are
make
going
money
crazy. Thank
off
you.
depressed people?
Are they both living off of his poverty wages, or is this dude farting around crying over comments while she pays all the bills? This is a crazy.
ways.
Okay. Can I just say, okay? we're
Okay, that's
dude,
wonderful.
we're like
But how do I make
$35 off the
money
amount he
off
gets off
depressed
Patreon
people?
every month.
Guys, stop donating. You're giving Salari PTSD from his glory days.
Thank you for the $5. Literally, and also, you know, it's mainly centered around me talking about this guy being a loser. That's so bad, dude. Like, only at this bit where he's talking about how he's struggling, you guys are like, yeah, here's some money, Chud, let's go, keep going.
Okay,
Keep it
that's
coming,
wonderful.
guys. Come on, let's
But
hit
how do I
the
make
345.
money
That'll
off
put us
depressed
on the
people?
same level as
These people
Patreon.
want to change the world but can't handle mean comments and criticism. Cheer.
Fucking hubris. That reminds me, there was a guy who was called Bay Area 415 or something. He had a funny name.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Here's to mogging Salari's monthly earnings.
Dude, for the $10. And this guy was like, talked a big talk, talked about China and all that stuff, and how he loved China and shit, and revolution now, socialism, right? He quit because he got doxxed. Now, don't get me wrong, getting doxxed is going to suck, right? Not saying it's a good thing. But if you're like a revolutionary, why are you quitting over getting doxxed? That's the least of your problems, isn't it? You want to go up against the state in violent revolution, and you're worried about getting doxxed, bro. You're going to get killed if you do a revolution.
Okay, that's
probably.
wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Ty for being my close personal friend.
Hey, Miku, thank you for the $50. Indeed, close personal friend, correct. Thank you. Hippo character collapses to the ground as his chair breaks while the words wrecked appear above him. Thank you for the $10 super sticker. Yeah, this is just very pathetic and wretched, and it's very manipulative as well. I think this is extremely manipulative, and this reminds me of, who is that guy in Praise of Shadows? It's like another example of that sort of behavior, I think.
I also know that there's a chance that you may feel just in your actions, regardless of what I say, and I'm not going to shame you for that. But
you see this, Salari? Thank you for the £10 AP, and Caleb for the $2. Thank you.
Okay, that's wonderful.
You see this?
But how do I make money off depressed people?
This could be yours, Salari. All you need to do is stream a bit more. Is that really too much to ask? You really can't find 4 hours in your day, 3 or 4 days a week to stream? And promote it a bit and put it out there and put community posts out and talk about it in your content. Oh, I'm streaming, by the way, guys. If you could get a fraction of people that watch your content to go to your stream, you could probably make a few $100s a month at least off of that, if not more. Well, more than that even. You could probably make a few thousand. You could probably easily make a few thousand a month just off of streaming more. But these people don't. They're just lazy. They want to rest on their laurels. Talk about them in PTSD because people don't support them anymore. God, it's so pathetic, dude. I can't stand it.
I will ask you to contemplate why you feel just and consider why that might be problematic.
Oh my God.
I wish you the best in life, but you should know that your actions and words cause serious harm.
Oh my God, dude. He's still on this. You cannot eat, dude. This guy, okay. After all of this, This guy needs to give it up. He's not cut out for this. His time is up. He had his time in BreadTube where he could spit out the BreadTube take and get a bunch of views. That era's done. He clearly can't survive. He clearly can't hack it. He needs to end his channel and just get a normal job. You cannot fucking hack it. You're giving all the ammunition for people that don't like you to come and fuck with you more. This is a disaster. This is the end of his channel. How could he possibly cope and survive if he's crying about it like this, giving all of his people that don't like him the ammunition to fuck with him more?
That contributed to the deterioration of my mental health and led me to revisiting the lowest point for the second time in my life. A low that was so potent,
No.
I didn't want to exist.
He was gonna top himself over.
Okay, that's wonderful.
There's no
But how
way,
do I make
dude.
money off depressed people?
Come on,
Like
really?
donating on Master Dab on tubers, very common Chudder community behavior.
Okay,
Thank
that's wonderful.
you,
But how do
Poofy.
I make money off depressed people?
I'm aggressively trading stocks to make more money to donate more just
That's
despite
crazy,
this bratty
dude.
bottom.
Thank you, Musty. Appreciate it. I'm blown away by this. I expected it to be, based on the description, very pathetic. But he's talking about ending himself because he lost money. Dude, there's people that have got businesses that
Okay,
go
that's
bankrupt
wonderful.
that don't
But
get
how
to
do I
this
make
level with it.
money off depressed people?
Well, I hope Salari takes care of himself.
Keep yourself
Okay,
safe,
that's
Salari.
wonderful.
Keep
But
yourself
how do
safe,
I make
am I right?
money off depressed people?
Just contributing to the decline of Salari's mental
You
health.
got- This is
Okay,
crazy.
that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, if the comments ever get too mean, just remember our money is still here for you.
Thank you for the $5. You know, obviously, you know, I do get a big portion of my income from people supporting me, which is appreciated. But it's like, it's twofold. It's like, on the one hand, you got to have
Okay,
some
that's
ad
wonderful.
revenue coming in
But how do I
because
make money
that is more.
off depressed people?
I love the irony of how profitable this segment is for you. I'd argue the harm caused to him may be better for the Genepool and society at large.
Okay, well, look, it can't go unnoticed that you guys are just throwing money at me.
Okay,
It's
that's
just-
wonderful. But how do I make money
You got-
off depressed people?
I will never support anyone who think they are entitled to my support. Support should be appreciated no matter what. He is literally saying, how dare you not support me anymore when my view no longer align with yours.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's like literally not worth sweating over. It happens. Who cares? And it caused him trauma to the point where he's thinking about topping himself rather than just, I don't know, getting a normal job or putting
Okay,
more
that's
effort into his
wonderful.
content,
But how do I make
streaming
money
more.
off depressed people?
Last year
Oh,
I had my
dude.
whole life get turned upside down after a 5-year relationship
Welcome
ended, and
to Chud
he's
Nation.
talking about me
Yeah.
celebrating Daddy.ora being
Okay,
so
that's
hot and
wonderful.
sexy.
But how
He
do I
cured
make
my
money
PTSD,
off depressed
hot
people?
face, fire, hot
took
face,
this away
fire,
from Salari
drink
so I
water,
could support
nervous
my
sweat,
favourite
ocean
tango.
wave, droplet.
Now
Okay,
everything's
that's
overlapping.
wonderful.
A symbol.
But how do I make money
Oh my God,
off
thank
depressed
you.
people?
No one deserves a YouTube career. You make it or don't.
Yes, exactly, Nene Goose,
Okay, that's
precisely.
wonderful. But how
You
do
don't-
I
you're not
make
entitled to
money
it. If it's
off
not
depressed
working,
people?
Make it rain.
Work harder or
Blue
fuck
heart.
off. Make it rain. Thank you for the $5 I'm rich
Okay,
with the
that's
£2.
wonderful. But how do I make money off
You
depressed
guys.
people? Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make
Oh.
money off depressed people?
Hey! Malkaz. Thank you for the bitties. Very generous. Thank you. Okay, guys. Let's continue the video. 'Cause this is, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm just saying, we need to wrap this up, really, don't we?
Anymore.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Anger
But how do I make
has
Thank
its
you
money
for the
costs,
off
$5.
but
depressed
it
people?
also
Just
has
'cause I
its
can.
uses too. That much is obvious, since it's something
Welcome
that's been
to Chud
passed down
Nation.
through human evolution.
Thank you for
for
the 5
millennia.
gifted subs.
It's something that
I see.
can help us survive, and
Let's go.
when utilized properly, it can help us achieve some form of justice. Justice
Okay, that's
is an
wonderful. But how
abstract
do I make
concept, though,
money
one that
off depressed people?
Thankfully, victims of DV don't have to go through this sort of abuse.
Well, it's funny you say that, Tally. Thank you for the $5 because I'm thinking, like, not that I care about victims of domestic abuse. Don't get it twisted. I couldn't care less, okay? But it is a little bit obnoxious to like complain about this, where there's people out there who have got genuine problems and genuine issues, and you're talking about financial abuse. Which, by the way, my understanding of financial abuse is you have control over finances and you hold it over a partner in order to get them to do things they don't want to do, or threaten to remove it in order to control their actions. Right? That is what financial abuse means to me. But he's characterizing people not supporting anymore because they don't like a take of his. I mean, dude, it's crazy. Very, very, like, upset. Like, it's very obnoxious to say that when there's people who actually are suffering with this sort of thing, and you're just trivializing it by going, yeah, it's when people stop supporting me on Patreon because they give a take they don't like.
I personally don't believe truly exists, since there's no solid consensus on what justice actually is. Anger is such a gut reaction that it can be difficult for us to not act
If the mean comments hasn't convinced his wife that he's a loser.
Yes, very true. Thank you for the $5.
on it, and take a moment to verify the information being presented. It doesn't help that many of us look for reasons to be angry, and in some ways, I can't blame them. The world's a bit of a mess.
I got laid off from the best
Dude, these super
job
chats are
I've
great.
had last year. What did I do?
Yes.
Went and got another job.
Bro.
Never considered the game over option. F this guy.
Dude, that is such a good point as well. The entitlement to think that you're entitled to this. And there's people, someone's lost a job. This happens all the time. People lose their jobs all the time, or things that, you know, that's the equivalent really. It's like you lose an income source that you've got, i.e. losing a job. In this case, you just got to get on your feet and move forward. That's what everyone's got to do. Everyone's got to just find a way to move forward. But guys like this, they can't hack it. They've got to have some overwrought justification for it. And dude, it's so fucking pathetic, man.
The economy's rigged against average people. Many of us will never retire. The planet's on fire, and every single day we learn about how something else is going wrong. It's an endless shit show, and it helps when we have something concrete to direct our anger towards. It helps even more when the thing that we're angry at recognizes our...
Dude, it's so funny the way it gets over-intellectualized. It's like, bro, people just want to blow off steam. That's my interpretation of it. It's not this deep. You don't have to go into this depth. Oh, it's useful to have something with it. No, bro, people are just a bit bored of their mundane lives and just want to fuck around for a bit.
Anger. Which is why if James Corden ever replies to my hate DMs, I can finally die happy. If you find yourself getting angry often, then I encourage you to work on identifying what makes you angry and why. Be conscious of how you behave when you're angry and do your best to control it. It's hard.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off
What?
depressed people?
This is like
If
the
you say something
tiny
I disagree
percentile.
with, I'm filing for a chargeback.
Okay, thank you for the $5.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I
Thank
make
you
money?
for the $10,
that's
Hannah
wonderful.
J.
But how do I make
Ironically, he's
money
engaging
off
in
depressed
financial
people?
abuse with his
fucking
fans,
go.
according to his definition.
Yes, and Rob with the tip. Thank you. Appreciate it. It feels like, first of all, I don't think I need lectures on
Okay, that's
emotions from
wonderful.
this dude.
But how do I make money
secondly-
off depressed people?
People lose their jobs all the time. What with all these bloody immigrants taking them?
Okay, Big Greg, that's a bit much, but thank you for the $3. It's like, you know, you're talking to like the very, very small percent of people who are online that have got anger issues, right? Like, I don't think that being angry at stuff online is indicative of having an anger issue that you need to seek therapy or anger management for. Like, how many people is he really talking to here? I mean, obviously, you know, not as many as he used to based on his viewership. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. It's just like so... Yeah, there's people out there who are angry. I don't think being angry at the internet is indicative of anger management needed issues.
It requires a lot of practice, but it's possible. Don't look for reasons to be angry, and don't just follow the crowd when they're angry, because when you do that, you make yourself susceptible to accepting misinformation as fact, simply because it aligns with your current feelings. If you don't manage it, you can end up being like that guy who tried to rescue non-existent kids from a non-existent basement under a pizza restaurant.
Okay, but that guy was based. That guy was based and funny, at least. Dude, if that guy... That was bait, that was funny. I don't want that guy to go to anger management. I want that guy to be doing that because it's insane, entertaining schizo shit.
You could also try and look up some anger management courses. There's actually a lot of good information online
dude.
which provides useful
Okay, bro.
exercises to recognize and deal with anger. One of the most effective ones being to distance yourself from what's causing you to be angry.
Wow.
In other words, stay the hell
Okay,
away
that's
from
wonderful.
Twitter.
But how do I
Although
make money off depressed people?
My best friend Oded and I had to go to work the next day cause I was running the shop and other workers were relying on me. Disdain isn't anger, salari.
Thank you for the super chat. Bro, couldn't you apply this logic to people that get upset with people being racist or something? Like, I don't know. It's like he's making the how is cyberbullying real argument, but for people that are angry rather than getting cyberbullied.
I'm baffled as to why anyone's still on there. Like, switch to Blue Sky. It's much nicer. It's not perfect, but it's nicer. And follow me as well. I'm Salari on there.
Oh my god, he switched over to Blue Sky because he can't hack all the racists on X. Cry me a fucking river, dude. Bro, you're white. You're white and presumably straight because you're married. And you can't handle X. Jesus Christ, dude.
I just post pictures of my cats and the stuff that I bake.
Okay,
Food
that's
for the
wonderful.
eyes.
But how do I make money?
Don't eat the cats,
off depressed
obviously.
people?
Oh my
This guy
god,
makes
dude.
me angry.
Dude, I don't feel anger, I feel pity. Thank you for the $5. This guy is just a pitiful entity.
What am I saying? Healthy discourse is a good thing, and it's great when people can have a meaningful discussion about the stuff that matters. But when you reach your twilight years and when you reminisce on your 20s and 30s, do you really want to think about all the time that you spent arguing with strangers on the internet who are never going to
Okay, like, yeah, sure. But, like, you could say this about loads of stuff, dude. Like, yeah, there's loads of stuff we engage in life. Well, you guys are saying yes because you're fucking... But no, it's like, yeah, there's loads of stuff we do, which we're going to look back on and think, oh, I should have done something more. It just feels like he's personally upset about this shit, so that's what he's focusing on, because it's upsetting him personally on an individual level. You can say this about gaming, streaming, making YouTube videos, anything. You can apply this to literally anything in your life.
listen to you anyway. You have to live your life too and try to be happy because you do deserve it. We can't control.
Why on earth does this guy think he's in any position to talk or lecture anyone about this when he's thinking about ending his own life because of mean comments on Patreon exit surveys? What the fuck, dude? Bro, this ain't your place. Work on yourself. Stop being so mentally ill and then maybe we can listen to you, dude. Right? I mean, what the fuck, dude? This is crazy. The fact that he thinks he's in a place to lecture or talk about this to anyone.
Control how other people feel, but we can work on controlling our own feelings. It ain't easy, but it's possible. And believe me when I say I speak from experience, because I haven't always been this chill. I've never raised my hand against anyone, but I used to have problems with anger, and it cost me a lot. I lost good friendships with people.
Okay, he's got to make sure that he's not... Guys, I wasn't... Guys,
Okay,
I wasn't beating any
How do I
women.
make money
Okay? Let me
off
tell you that. I was not beating
Primordial
women.
became a member.
Thank you for the gift of membership. Dude, I'd rather leave it open-ended. I used to deal with anger issues, particularly with my ex. Just leave it at that. I'm not saying
that's
anything
wonderful.
else.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Let you fill in the blanks, you know?
But how do I make money
He
off
should have
depressed
spent
people?
that time reading about personal finance. Wow.
Yes. True.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Thank you for the super chat. No, I was just saying what he was saying in a better way. Leave it open-ended. Look at that, we filled the bars. Guys, you've actually gone ahead and filled the bars. Let's reset them. Let's reset them, okay? I feel like we don't get to reset them as often as we used to when I only streamed on one platform. So let's enjoy it, okay? Anyway, yeah, this guy is fucked in the head.
People that I really cared about because I felt my anger was more important than my connection with them. And with hindsight, I can say that I was wrong. We've all done something like this and we all regret it in some way. Without a doubt, I'm no exception. So be well, take care, try your best. Thanks for watching.
Bro, he's really going to tell us
Sorry
to
this
try
video
our
took
best.
a while, but life stuff got in the way, as did ADHD.
Oh my god, he's got ADHD too. He's riddled with mental health issues. Dude, when Jordan Peterson said get your own house in order, this is the kind of shit he was talking about. This dude riddled with mental issues to the point where he's crying about Patreon comments, trying to tell us what's what about life. Jesus Christ, dude.
Lovely. Thanks to all the Patreon supporters you see on screen who help keep the channel going, and I'd like to offer a special thanks to the following people who pledge $5 or more. Rima, Rowan Ellis, Texas Lioness, Martin Chung, Femgirl Aaron, MD Bagel, JP, Minty, Malcontent, Jacob Mayer,
Minty.
Zoe B, Fishcatch, Mech, Beige Circle, Jonathan Morris, Aria Rose,
Anyway,
Grevling,
listen, we don't
Catherine
need to listen to all
Pandel,
this. Bro, this is also a product. You don't need to... Bro, reading out everyone that supports you, this is like a product of the past as well. It's also not scalable. This is someone who's resigned to not growing. How can you scale this out, that you read out every Patreon of a certain tier? Do people even care about this? Do they care enough to sit there and have their name read out? Come on, dude. Anyway. What? No, because it's weird. Just, bro, it's fine. The support is there. Everyone's happy with that. Willie Mac does it and that's your homie. Well, Willie Mac should stop doing it. It's gay and lame. It's stupid. Anyway. I mean, it's fine to, you know, I do it when the support comes in, but the idea of going through a video and then being like, thanks everyone on Patreon, just assume it's there. Okay? Assume it's there. That's it. That's all you need to do. Oh. Anyway, guys, what do you reckon? I thought that was quite fun.
Okay, that's wonderful.
In the
but
end.
how do I make money
Hey!
off depressed people?
Unironically made a couple $100 trading like an autist BC of him. Him wiring it and donating 50% of it tomorrow in stream.
Based. Thank you, Rusty, for the $5. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Thank you for that. Dude, Musty is an absolute legend. Crushing it. Does Chud know Musty is like a top Mossad agent? I don't... Listen. Makes no odds to me either way, to be honest. Regardless. Dude, I know Mossad get a lot of shit because, oh, it's Israeli. Dude, Mossad are like crazy in the shit they've pulled off. Hate Israel all you want, but you cannot deny that Mossad are fucking based. Dude, the pager operation, it was just, I mean, it's just next level.